Hi, this is CS Trades, Wolfpack, and we got Pantheon here today. So we're just doing a meetup today for Power Hour, and we're going to be answering some of your questions. There's a lot of stuff that is out there that people want to know the answers to, and it will be to do with stocks, with AMC and government stuff, and that kind of all the fun stuff in life. So go ahead, Pantheon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Cam. Thanks for having me on the show and happy Power Hour to everybody. It's always nice to do Power Hour on a day where we've got some green on AMC. Not hating that at all.
Does that bother your eyes? Sorry, buddy. Does that bother your eyes at all?
No, no, it's beautiful.
Okay.
At least they're not $1 bills. I like that.
Yeah, that's why I tried to get on. I think Boss is rubbing off him with the money machine. I don't know. I had this for a while now, since the program there. So I had this one before, and it just started making my eyes go all weird. It was this thing with the stock market. It had like a bend in it, and it was 4K. Um, the people that are watching, like, we're starting to feel sick. Cameron, can you change it? So, anyways, what I'm
It's
going
always
to
one of my favorite parts when Cash Money says money printer go burr. I always love that part.
it is. It's awesome. It's awesome. Right on. And I just wanted to say this. Yesterday, what a great show, man, that you guys put on. I watched it in segments because I was trying to get stuff done. I kept on getting distracted from my wife, and I was like, "You don't understand. I got to watch this." But she was pretty cool about it near the end. She didn't understand what I was trying to do. Trying to go around the house doing housework, and then all of a sudden I caught on my phone in the laundry room. It was funny, but yeah, it was a good show, man. You guys
Yeah,
did
I
good.
enjoyed it. Yeah, it sort of all came together. Boss had put out a tweet on Sunday that he wanted to have a group together, and him and I got chatting in the Discord and kind of just pulled it together basically in 24 hours. Boss
Oh,
did all of
wow.
it. It's really cool. Yeah, we ended up with Jackson Hunter and AMC Bigums, and we had Randall Cornett and Boss and myself and the think tank, and we had some other people. It was a good time. I think we covered a lot of ground. Um, I'm not used to these live streams where you don't interact with the comments, so I thought it was a little different for me, but I think we
Oh,
covered a lot of good information, and I was really happy that Boss invited me, so that was really cool. If anyone didn't check it out, you can check out the restream on Boss's channel, the full 3 hours, or you can check out on Jackson Hunter. I think he's got it as well, and AMC Bigums, but they came in a little bit later, so the full 3 hours would be on Boss Blunt's The Butcher of Wall Street's channel. If you want to check out from last night, that was pretty fun. Yeah.
yeah, right on, buddy. Thank you, Pantheon. Mods, do you want to go over to that channel, please, and grab that stream link for us? Would be beautiful. And then maybe just throw it up in the chat for us. Would be awesome. That'd be a solid for everybody out there because um, depends on what channel you're from and what time frame. That was East Coast, wasn't it, Pantheon? Late at night. That-
Yeah, it was seven o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern is when we got kicked off.
Okay, there you go. There you guys go. So if you didn't see it, then we're gonna check it. Go check it out. It's definitely um, definitely in depth on a lot of stuff, and that's, I think, going to spark a lot of the conversations today that we talked about.
Sure.
Hopefully, you don't. Especially about, I'm very intrigued with the Canadian. I'm going to start it off today. While the comments come in, Wolfpack, if you wanted to, and new members to our channel. To just throw the questions up. If I know there's going to be a substantial amount, we're going to try to get to as many as we can today. If we don't, then I'll just write them down and maybe I can get them passed on. And if you're on the server, Pantheon's really good about answering questions. I do got to refrain from the new members coming in. Please do not do any live video calls off the server directly to him. Show respect. Messages fine because then he can answer them at his own time. Okay, that just goes for new members because we got a big influx of new members on the server. It's just one of our rules that we stand behind for creators. They are delicate to us. Okay, they're working on material all the time, and that's all I want to say to that. I just want to just kind of common sense on that one, and I appreciate that. So I keep on getting attacked by my own bot. Okay, get off there. This
Feels
restream
like
thing.
Elton John in here, Cam. We can feel the love tonight. Look at this chat. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's. Oh, thank you, Jay. Thank
Hearts and
you.
waves and everything. It's beautiful. You're a bunch of beautiful people.
Oh, thanks, brother. I'm glad you're feeling relaxed in here. It's always like this. It's been really the last since this morning. I was just blown away with the wolves here. It just wow. I get shocked every time, and I thought it was just me, but then I go to some other like different channels just to watch, and I'm thinking it's totally different. Which is every channel has their own thing, right? Some are different in some ways. Some are yeah. It's a beautiful thing, right? So, um, the one question, Pantheon, I'm going to bring some charts up. We can bring some stuff up for Power Hour, but I do want to get into. I'm going to load that. I do want to get into some questions about. I'm going to ask the first question here while all the other wolves get some questions in. It's a Canadian topic. Okay, I've been asked because some Canadians knew that you were coming on about this with the money coming to the banks about them under the Emergency Act. You touched down on that like strong last night in Boss's call. But like I said, I was in the laundry room. I got caught on my phone. Not that my wife cares, but she said, "Why are you doing?" I think she was a little suspicious that I was talking to somebody I shouldn't be. And then I showed her and she goes, "What are you doing? Go out in the living room and do that." And I said, "Well, I don't want to miss this." So, yeah, it was on the Canadian banks about the Emergency Act, the 9 months. And that's all I heard at Pantheon about them seizing money. Do you?
Yeah. Well, during the trucker protests, which let's just be clear, the truckers were driving to Ottawa. They had kids with them. They had bouncy castles. They basically were doing peaceful protests. The people who were saying that there was violence, those people are completely FUD. They're making it up. I mean, all of the reports were that it was a completely safe and a peaceful protest. And what the Canadian government did, and what we were talking about last night, this related to the new US digital currency that's being talked about, which is called Project Lithium. And what happened was a caller, or sorry, caller, I think I'm on Pantheon Radio.
It's all
A
good, buddy.
commenter last night asked a question about, is there a difference between, and I'll tie this all together, Cam,
No, it's all good.
is there a difference between the this new US digital currency versus, we're already going with debit cards and credit cards in a digital world? What's the difference? So the difference is control. And I don't want to get conspiracy theory or put my tinfoil hat on too early today. But
Right
but
on.
basically what they did was when 9/11 happened and all the planes got put down, all the planes were grounded. What happened is Canada did not invoke the Emergencies Act. Canada has never invoked the Emergencies Act in the history of our country. 9/11, we did not do it. When truckers drove to Ottawa, honked their horns, and had peaceful protests singing the national anthem with children, the Liberal government, and I'm not trying to make this political, but they invoked the Emergencies Act because for some reason these truckers were a threat to the sovereignty of Canada. And while that was happened, everybody was pushing back saying this is not something we should be doing. While this was done, the government ran in and introduced a new law, which now, since the Emergencies Act has been pulled back, but they've left this law in. Clearly, this was not about trucker protests or about the safety and the sovereignty of Canada. What this was about was sticking in a rule where the opposition had no opportunity in the government to fight you back. So what this is the government has now got a rule in Canada, and this will tie into the US digital currency, guys, that they can now have any of the banks in Canada, if they feel you have donated money to the wrong cause, if you have said something that the government doesn't approve of, they can freeze all of the money in your bank account and hold it for, it was either 6 or 9 months. It was something in that range. I can't remember the exact time frame, but they can hold it until they investigate it. Now, after the investigation is done, they can give you back your money, and then they're indemnified. There's no way for you to sue them if you've proven you did nothing wrong. So for example, if you donate to the trucker protests, they can go ahead and seize your bank account, seize all your money. Well, what are you going to do for 6 and 9 months on paying your mortgage? How are you going to pay for your kids' daycare, gas for your vehicle to get to work? How are you going to pay for your food? Like, these things are absolutely ridiculous. Now, that's a way of control. That's all that this thing is. If you don't have the message that they want you to say, they're going to shut you up by taking away your money. And they've had to go through the banks to make this happen. Now let's jump over to the US digital currency. I'm going to tie this into Project Lithium. That's the DTCC's project where they're looking at investigating as a prototype for the US digital currency. Now, this is a ways away from being done, guys. It's in prototype phase. It's not going to be enacted anytime soon. And some people in the community have been saying this is going to get used to pay the apes for AMC. That's miles away from being a reality. That's not true. So maybe it will be in the future, but guys, we got to be working with facts today. But what this coin would do is it would be replacing the dollar, okay, the fiat, the actual paper dollar, because paper dollars in your pocket, nobody can control that. If Cam has $1,000 in his pocket, the government has no idea what he's going to spend it on, where he's going to take it, what he's going to do with it, how much meat he's going to buy, how much vegetables he's going to buy. They have no idea. But if it's digital, they don't have to go to the banks now to say through an emergency act to put in a law that's completely unconstitutional to say we can now control your money if we don't like where you donated it. Now they can just shut it off because it'll all be ran right by through the Fed backed through the Fed backed currency. So really, all this comes down to is one thing: is it more efficient? Sure, it's more efficient, but it's about control. It's about them saying we don't like where you're spending your money. And the next step this is going to, we're putting the tinfoil hat on now. The
Oh, it's all
next step
good.
they're the next step they're going to is they're going to be saying, you know, your ESG score is terrible. Your environmental, social, and governance score isn't good. So you know what? You're not going to be allowed to get meat. You're not going to be allowed to buy this or buy that. And they're going to start. The next step you got to be careful of is universal basic income, because then they'll start putting money in your account for you not to have to work. And then they'll say if you don't spend it by the end of this month, it's gone and the next batch comes in so nobody can save. There's a and we're not I'm not going further down this the tinfoil
No,
hat.
no.
We just got out of the gates, Cam, and it is power hour on a green day. We're up 6.8% on AMC. But I just want to say, like, this is the first step to a process that people need to be aware of. They need to start looking at, start thinking about, start talking about, and focus that definitely towards what's coming up is it November with the elections in the United States. Start thinking about that and talking to your representatives and figure out Republican, Democrat, who cares? Figure out what are these people for, and make sure that I'm tying this into a lot of things. Make sure that you're following the right people and voting for the right people. This is the time to make your voice heard. So, sorry, Cam, I went down the rabbit hole on that
No,
one.
this is beautiful. This is what we didn't. This is where there was. I know there was a big crowd of people where you were yesterday, so I think you're a little bit more where you can just let her go. This is what I wanted to hear. We got a wouldn't say a substantial. Yeah, we got a lot of Canadians on this channel now. We're still 80% American, and then the rest all over. Um, it's just that Canada is actually pretty small. A lot of people don't realize that the population it's big, of course, but there's more land than population compared to a lot of places in the states, like California and stuff. We're spread out, so that has a big factor into some of this. I did want to.
But also, Cam, it's the first step. Like, I know Jeffrey doesn't agree with me on my stance that I think Americans are stronger than Canadians. And I respect Jeffrey's opinion on that. But the reality, in my opinion, not reality, in my opinion, though, Canadians are going to not push back. Like the things Trudeau has
No.
done, that they have allowed him and voted him back into office. That I don't think that would fly in the U.S. So, like what we're seeing, the reason we're bringing this up, what we're seeing happen today in Canada is absolutely part of the plan for next in the United States, right? So see what we're doing here, see what our people are letting happen here. Don't let this happen in the US, because you guys have that wonderful constitution and you've got those rights about right to bear arms, which we don't have. And I'm not suggesting people bear arms. I don't want to get I don't want to get you demonetized, Cam.
No,
But
it's all good.
we have had our rights stripped away, and we're too nice about it to push back, right? So you guys need to in the U.S. We're counting on you. Sorry, Cam. Let's move
No,
on.
all good, buddy. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is some clarity that we need. Yes, I'm going to speak for Canadian because I am Canadian, at least as far as I last time I looked. They're going to take that away pretty soon too. So I'm joking. I got to clarify that I'm just joking. But with Canada, there's a little bit more because everybody has their own. They've already started. They I don't about the Emergency Act. Of course, was spur them. They've been working on this for a while. Okay, it was just implemented in the perfect timing. They were waiting for something like this. And they probably have fine tuned it a bit. But I just wanted to say these, and this is where monetization sucks sometimes because I'm talking about a topic that's very frowned upon. The guns up in Canada, they've been working on handing your guns in for a long time up here. This is all coinciding because without firearms, you can't protect yourself or you can't push back, okay, against the government. So this is all like a big thing that they've been working on for a while up here. And I know because a couple of my friends are avid hunters, and they're this first they started with the registry, and then once they're registered, they can come take them. First, they registered them. Then they started putting all these laws in. Oh, you can't have this long a barrel on it. You have to. Then all of a sudden half your stuff's gone. But meanwhile, it starts with something simple. They implement the gun law. Then there's barrel restrictions. Then there's lever action restrictions. So they start taking this stuff slowly away from us Canadians. I know we're getting into conspiracy. It's not. It's on the verge because of a lot of its true information. So I just wanted to say that I can speak on that behalf. Because I am Canadian, I'm seeing it happen. And wow, look at all these beautiful people in here today. Wow.
Yeah, what
I'm
you've
blown
said is
away.
100% factual. And the funny thing is, like in the US right now, they're talking about ghost guns, right? I shouldn't use that word anymore. I'm going to get you demonetized today.
Yeah,
They're
it's all
talking
good.
about the ghost arms, and that's the assembled pieces that have no serial numbers on them.
Hmm.
It's funny. In Canada, they went after the hunters and the farmers, right? Like if you're truly worried about making sure that arms don't end up in the wrong hands, I'm trying to use code now, that then you don't go after the people that register them, because the people like you and me who might register them are the good people on the up and up who are saying, yes, I'd like a hunting arm, so I'm going to register it correctly, and then we get scrutinized. And yet the people that are going to use them for nefarious means, they're not going to register them. Anyhow, maybe we're going down the wrong path today on an AMC
Yeah,
discussion, Cam.
it's all good. That had to be discussed. We could actually go on this too, but we're gonna leave that one a bit there, Pantheon. Good. Thank you for because I would have kept on going. You know me, when I get on something with my ADD here, I just go, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be time to wrap it here. But
And I,
that's a
I should,
very
sorry, one
go
more
ahead.
thing, Cam. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I got to clarify. Jeffrey's got a good point. His
Okay.
point wasn't about Americans and Canadians, which one's weaker. His point was about generations, and so I didn't say that correctly. Sorry, Jeffrey. I've got nothing but respect for you.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey's definitely a hardcore wolf here. He's wow. He's going to be launching his YouTube channel in a bit here. We're
Excellent.
launching 3 YouTube channels in probably about the next week here. A couple mods are doing it. We're just putting together. We're forming something that is going to be beautiful, and you guys will all see the finished product. Like I said, we're not going nowhere. So in that aspect, I'm going to pull up the chart here, Pantheon. Are you okay with that? Um,
Yeah, let's do
AMC.
it.
I got to pull off the chat bar, my friends. On the, or else you won't be able to see it. Okay, it's just the way this Restream software works. They do need to work on some stuff. Okay,
Just
so
so you
we're gonna
know,
do.
Cam, the comments for me on the restream, it's not working, so I can't see any comments when we do this. But that's okay. You'll let me know when there's questions, right?
Okay. Yeah,
Something's
yeah.
happened. The embedded link is invalid or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, let's pull up the
Oh,
chart.
you wanted to bring it to your chat?
No,
Okay,
no, no,
okay,
no, not at all, not at all. There's two settings. I can see the chat that you had on the screen before, but
yeah,
beside it, there's another piece I can see the comments as they stream through. That part's
okay,
not working. It's okay.
okay.
You'll pull the comments up on the screen, right? As you
I
want to
will.
talk
Yes,
about
I
them.
will. Yes, I
Yeah.
will. And there's also, oh yeah, your computer. It's hard for you to look at two things at once, right? Because of that freezing thing. Are you still having that issue with Pantheon?
No, no. I
Okay,
just
yeah.
don't.
If
I
you
don't. I don't do the restream link and do the channel at the same time. I just do
Oh,
the
okay. Because I
restream
was
link.
going to say while we're on, oh yeah, okay, I know what you're saying. Because while we're on this, if you pull up YouTube, but I know it's hard to do, especially if you don't have two monitors, then you can pull up the thing and then. But I will definitely be diligent on that. With the questions, I'll try to be a good host here. I'm just going to pull up. I'm going to pull up this screen here for. Oops, I got to set it up first here.
You should, because we're up over 7%.
I
So I
know, I
mean,
know, I
people got
know.
to feel good
I'm
about
getting on
that
it.
on a Tuesday, right?
I know. I just noticed that too. So I'm gonna have to. I wish I had 3 monitors here, my friends, or 4. It just never ends with all this technology now. Okay, here we go. We're doing it.
As we're talking, we're scaring them. We're talking about the laws in Canada. I think we're scaring them, Cam, because they've just
Yeah,
gone up a 1/4% in the time we've been talking up to 1874.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, do you know weird thing is I've been covering this with the CV-19, COVID-19,
Hmm.
and all these new laws about, and they just trip. The Americans just trip on these QR codes for going in shopping and stuff. They just trip on that. How we have to show these scan codes to go in. The ones that are vaccinated, and there's a lot of people that are not vaccinated in Canada. See, up in Canada, there's not a divide like that. It's in a lot of parts of the world, there's a division. You're on that side, you're on this side. Canadians are a little bit different when it comes to that. We're all you one. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out there.
But they
So
did lift that though, right? In BC, it's lifted right now. We don't have to show QR
yes,
codes to go anywhere
that's
right
correct.
now. Yeah,
Yep, that's right. But it's there, ready for whenever. That's the problem. Like you said, Pantheon, this stuff, once it's there, it never doesn't go away. They can implement it whenever, right?
that's true.
So yeah. So yeah, you can go anywhere now. That's right. I just went into the store the other day and I actually forgot my mask in the truck. And I went in there and I was expected to get jumped at the door, right? Not literally, but and anyways, they were like looked around. Nobody, like one person had a mask on. So it was a little bit different. I'm not used to that. I don't go out that much. I'm pretty much working on YouTube all the time. So, but anyways, yeah, let's have the chart here. I got the chart. I've got ticker symbol AMC Entertainment Holdings. I'm on the 1 minute time frame here. And you guys can see all the, oh yeah, that comes out really clear. And
Looks
what I'm
good.
going to, you know, we're $18.73. Wolfpack. Yeah. Sorry to clap. And that sometimes blows people's eardrums out with this mic. 7.01%.
Hey,
Yes, I'm just gonna hit.
you got to take the green days when they come, right?
Yes, you do. And we cracked above this. Look at these lines I have. These are monumental lines, Wolfpack, and you know that. These lines are from back in the day. Some of them are back the first run-ups that we've ever had. These trend lines, okay? Like I've been following this for a long, long, long. I can add another long in there, can I, Pantheon?
As many as you want.
Yeah, yeah, because it has been substantial. So this 1834 line, I'm just going to oh, this thing is messing. Oh, I can move that. That's weird. That's cool. I'm learning some stuff about my own software. Okay, I'm going to put this on the 30-minute here. I'm going to look at this one line. Okay, see how many times Wolfpack it's touched. These are touch points. Okay, so that means it's a very strong line. It's a horizontal trend line. Okay. So this is resistance. And if it passes that, it comes support. Okay. I'm explaining this because I like to explain things when I go into something because there's a lot of new people entering the market. Okay. We just want to get the correct information out there on that aspect. Because then once they learn the correct, they can move forward. Okay. They don't have to say, oh, is this whatever. Right. So we thought it was going to hit down in this lower. It didn't. So what I see, it went through, it punched through. I'm just going to put it back on the minute because I want to, it did it in the first go. That's a lot of volume to do that. Usually I'm going to go back to Trey's trades. I mentioned it this morning. He mastered this from back in the day that it usually taps 3 to 4 times before it punches through a line. He's right. He's right. Trey has nailed a lot of things right on this stock. Yeah, and I'm just going to keep it at that. I have nothing against Trey. I've back in the day, I was upset at him a couple ways, but he was right in a lot of ways. There was a lot of ignorancy on all of our parts, on the aspect of not knowing, right? And everybody's wrong and right on some things. Okay, so I just want to be clear on that. That he was right on this, okay? And I respect him for that because what it did was make me analyze the stock almost to heck. But so yeah,
Hey, hey,
go
Cam,
ahead.
can I try something on the restream? Something's buggered up and I'm having some trouble. Can
Go
I
out.
exit out
Yeah,
and come
yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
back in? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Uh,
Yep. Just go back out and then just there's 2 different links there that I sent you.
Yep. Give me
Oh,
5 seconds and I'll be there in your green room. I'll be right back.
Pantheon, just hang on 1 second. I'm gonna have to pull something out. I'm gonna activate something. You want to make it so it doesn't stream to your channel, right? Is that
No, no,
right?
I've got the right link. Something buggered up on my
Okay,
end.
go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
just
sir.
want to exit out and come right back. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
All right.
There we go. So yeah, with this technology, there's so many different aspects on it. On it. So hopefully it works out. Oh, there he is. Wow, that was fast. Hey, buddy, you're back. I can.
Okay, I can see the comments now. This is perfect. Thank you.
Oh, that
Sorry,
was weird. We had that happen before Pantheon. That makes a
me when
big
I can't.
difference, eh? So yeah, if you want to answer questions, I know you. If you want to write them down, I'm trying to pull them up. I'm trying to do the screen too. So, guys, if I'm going like this back and forth, it's because I got multiple screens here. I'm not. My head isn't going to fall off. Okay. So I'm going to go right back up here because Pantheon's a lot like me. We like to answer the questions. So this could drag a little bit. Just bear with us. I'm moving the chart in case it does run into the time where it closes.
And
Um,
ask us questions that get us fired up because it seems to be
yeah,
helping this stock.
it does. It does. It
As
does.
we
I
get
like
fired
it.
up, the stock goes up.
It's true, man. It's true. So we've already, thank you, Wolfpack. I'm just going to skip by all the, we love you and all the support and stuff. Not that I'm disrespecting you all. It's just that, we've already read that. We're going to get into some questions. The harder ones are better. We like those ones where you can dig. Okay. Okay. Here's one right here. I can't read it, Pantheon. I got to pull it up, my friend. That's the problem with this restream.
Yeah, we've got that tinfoil hat on here.
Okay.
Did you guys know
Bust her
about
out.
the short position on airlines the days before 9/11? A big bet happened. Look it up. It's crazy. Dog Pound Gang 8. Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, but there were specific insurance policies taken out
Mhm.
right before that went down. And, Boss has gotten onto this on his channel and quite some.
Yes, he
See, look at we're
did.
at 1882. Keep this coming, guys. We're going to hit 20 bucks if we keep up the tinfoil hat stuff today.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, no, yeah, absolutely. There was big short positions put down that happened to nail it. In fact, one guy who did it ended up passing away not too short after. And yeah, the insurance policies, though, that's the biggest criminal part of the whole thing, which we talked about a bit last night on the stream.
Right on. Thanks, buddy. Pantheon, I just want to tell you my style here. Once you read the question, I'm going to move on or else I'll lose track because they're coming in so fast.
Sure.
Just in case you need a reminder, I can leave it on for a couple seconds. I'm just going to shout somebody out because he's well respected by myself and I'm pretty sure by Pantheon. Wolfie.
Better not be that Diaz. Okay, this
Yeah.
is better.
Wolfie. How's it going, bud?
Hi, Wolfie.
And yep, there's Diaz. There he is.
I'm messing with Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely very active. He's saying hi to Wolfie. I'm just going to skip through some of these. No disrespect, though. Wow,
I like Jay with the Step Brothers reference. That's pretty good.
the step.
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Yeah, Jay's a really good mod here. So power hour. I'm just going to put this on while we're going through some stuff. I'm looking for stuff. Pantheon, if you see the numbers come up, you can quote some numbers. See, it says 1214. It's easier for me to find stuff like that.
Oh,
I'm
sure,
going through
sure.
as much as I can. That's a system I usually use, or else it just gets a little crazy. Wow. Okay, I'm getting near. I don't know if I'm only halfway.
Take your time, Cam. What I've learned on my channel is, don't rush it. It's
Okay,
better to
buddy.
address people and take our time, right?
Yeah, I'm not used to this many questions. What happened is we went off with our tinfoil hat. Well, we both had half a tinfoil hat. I think we were sharing one there on that one last comment there
Yep.
with the government.
But
But
that's
we
good.
were,
It buffers up some questions, gives us material to work with, and here we are pushing almost 1890. So
yeah, this is crazy. And
I'm
I am
feeling
on
it
the 1
today.
minute. This is awesome, my friends. Look at this. I blew it up a little bit more. Okay, we can see that really good now. Look at this. Look at this run. Like that's not what are we getting for these candlesticks? Woo!
I'll tell you, Cam, this is the very first daytime that I've come on someone's stream. I'm always in the evenings. I don't like doing the daytime because the daytime everyone's doing technical analysis and charting, which I understand and I can do, but
Yeah.
enough people are doing it. I don't bother with it. This is the
Yeah.
first power hour I've ever done. So
Really?
you just popped my cherry on that. Did I just say that on air?
Yeah, you can on this channel. Oh, now you're gonna get all the girls going. Oh
We're having
no.
fun. We're just having fun.
Hey, it's all you should have seen this morning. It was out of control. I was like, oh my god, it's I've explained to the chat before. If you say it on the chat is different than us voicing it. We can't YouTube knows we can't control this chat. Okay. To some degree. Right. Just what's legal and what's not. Wolfpack. But I just wanted to say that if we speak that, that's what can get us in trouble. But if it's talked about on the chat, it's different. Okay.
I understand, Cam. You've got a 5-second delay on me, so that's probably good.
Oh, do I?
No,
Okay. Okay.
I'm kidding. You should have like a buzzer to
Oh,
mute.
oh yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
it's a
Yeah, I
joke.
know. This, yeah, I know. This restream's really fast, though. That's another thing too, compared to YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, it does have a bit of a delay. I I did set it on a little bit, but not much. Um, Welcome everybody, and okay, thank you, Ma. I call her Ma. It's D. You know D from our channel.
Yes, sir.
Um, I'm just wow.
It's a beautiful bunch of people in the comments today.
This is crazy in a good way. Crazy. I got to
Yeah.
emphasize that because I always say that, and some people are crazy. They just yeah. It's just my lingo, right? Without ice, Christy. Here we go. Here we go. Without ice, Diaz. Yeah, you guys definitely fit in well over here. Good one. I promise to behave in the chat. Oh, here we go. Here's a troublemaker right here. Bingo. Bango schwango. Nailed. Mrs. Young.
Yeah, Dana's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing, many of the community members that support multiple YouTubers, and not only multiple YouTubers, but people who were on the same wavelength, right? Like you and me and Boss and Massalorian and Tony. Like we all have a little bit different shtick, if you want to call it that way, but we've all kind of focusing on the same thing. Bigums, Randall, like we're all looking for the same outcome. Jackson Hunter, we maybe just do it a little bit different than each other, but that variety is the spice of life, right? So
That's correct.
it's cool seeing the same people kind of run through the channels and support it because it shows that we're all on the right path, I believe.
That's
So
right. That's right,
thank you,
my
Dana.
friend. And that is actually oops, I just messed up the screen here. Sorry guys.
Where's
That
that
is
cam? That's beautiful. You
you
take
that's
that
my
picture?
no, I didn't. It's on my backdrop. It switches daily on my computer.
Ah,
And it just give me a second, Wolfpack. I'm sorry. I'm switching these screens around because I'm looking sideways here and it's giving me issues on my injured neck here. So it's I'm gonna have to shut this restream down and relaunch it, or not the restream, but the broadcast. Sorry, Wolfpack. I gotta switch my screens because I'm like this with my titanium neck, doesn't like that. So there we go. There,
we'll
that's better on my neck.
we'll have
I
to
was starting
talk
to get the
someday what life is like as a cyborg.
oh man. It has its I don't know if it has any positives,
We'll
but
start calling you the $6 million man.
yeah, yeah, you could actually with all the plates there. Number six. That's funny because it's the number six disc too. I got to show you that piece of hardware. It's I was actually invented in the UK. I'm like one of the top, I think, 15 people to ever have this implant in. It's an articulating joint. Usually they just fuse the neck, right? So I opted for it, and then the first thing I said, well, what's the warranty like? Like, is it like 6? They're like, there's no warranty. I'm like, what do you mean there's no warranty? Because I'm a welder. I'm thinking warranty on the steel. And they're like, there's no warranty. So what if this thing wears out? And they said, well, it kind of can't wear out. And I said, well, anything can. So that's a different
Wow.
topic on that. But yeah, it's crazy. I'll show you guys. I do have pictures of it. It's a weird looking thing with these teeth on it that go into the bone and it's screwed. Oh yeah, it's nuts looking. It looks me. It looks like definitely something out of Mad Max for sure. Okie doke doke doke. Wolfpack, fire some questions up, my friends. I know you're throwing a lot of love here. What do you make? What do you make? Okay, here we go. Wolfie has one. Can you see that, Pantheon?
Yep.
Okay.
What do you make of traders' accounts starting to change rules of business? Free trade saying investors have to agree with them loaning your shares out or they'll become a sell only account. That's a great question, Wolfie. That just shows tremendous desperation on their part. And for people who push the narrative, not apes, but people out there who push the narrative that we're not a threat and that the hedgies are doing just fine and there's no smoke, where there's smoke, there's no fire. Like everyone's saying that stuff. It's things like this. It's things like Citadel and others telling their investors they can't withdraw their money when they want to. They have to only be able to withdraw a certain percentage each quarter, and it'll take them 4 years to get their money back. These are the kind of activities of people when their back is to the wall, when they're scared, right? So if you're going to say you have to allow us to loan your shares or become a sell only account, that's complete BS. Unless that was in the agreement that you didn't read when you first signed up for the account, then you discover it. I mean, you can't get mad at that, right? But then again, those things are 50 pages long. Nobody really reads them, but you really should. But if they're
Right.
changing the rules of business, as Wolfie says here, and I believe Wolfie, I mean that's complete BS. They can't force you to loan out your shares or become a sell only account. The stock is hard to find. It's very difficult to get AMC stock. It doesn't look that way when we buy it, but these guys can't locate it because they're not looking to locate synthetics. They're looking to locate real shares. And exactly, Cam. So like these guys are having a hard time finding that stuff, which is why they're putting these rules forward. They don't want to tip their hand, but they are by these actions. The same thing, like I said, with the hedge funds who are restricting the investor's ability to pull their money out. Like it's like Sun Tzu, the art of war. Appear strong when you're weak and appear weak when you're strong. And what they're doing is they're trying to look tough and look strong right now. Citadel's making all this money. Ken Griffin's doing all this. The banks are doing just fine. The reality is they're not. And if you look back to what happened in the 2007 to 2009 mortgage backed security crisis, you'll see the interviews with Ken Griffin afterwards where you had no idea how close to the edge we were. If Morgan Stanley had closed business on a Monday, Citadel would be dead by Wednesday. But back then, they kept saying, nah, we're strong, we're good. Look at me, I'm going to go buy another $50 million apartment. That's what these guys do to fake us out. Not to mention the amount of FUD we see in message boards. If you go to Yahoo or you go to StockTwits or anywhere, even in the comments, Cam's channel, you'll see people
Yeah.
coming in trying to scare people, right? The bots, the shills. And they wouldn't be doing that if what we had didn't have them backed into a corner. And just as a side note, I think we as AMC team, right, a community, we've got to be more careful not to, scare ourselves as well. And I'm just going to leave that point at that, Cam. Not
Yeah,
to go
no,
deeper into that.
yeah, exactly. I really appreciate it, and that was a good analysis on that aspect of that. Um, I just wanted to get you up on a little bit of speed on this Pantheon. With Miss Christie there, is one of our mods, as you know. She runs the server, um, and Fidelity has refused to resume cashier checks from monies withdrawn from your account. She's done a lot of homework. This young lady here has spent hours and hours and hours and I probably could add a couple more hours to that, calling around, trying to secure this information for you all, to do with credit unions, banks, finding out how much money they can release, because a lot of this is speculation. Okay. She's sealing the deals on this stuff. She has a big notebook and she goes through all this stuff. So, what she's telling people is she's trying to get some information because we were talking about the money aspect of it. So definitely I would on anything, even the young Miss Christie here, is to double check this stuff, because every state, every country is different sometimes, just a little bit off. Okay. They have different rules. Some are like up here, some are provincial, some are federal, but yet they could be the same bank. They go under different aspects. Okay. But yeah, she's, like I said, back to this.
And to tack onto that, when she was talking to these guys, they were basically saying, you don't have enough money in your account to talk to the people that can really give you true answers, right? These people are going to
Mhm.
regret this stuff after we've had the MOAS,
Yeah.
excuse me, and Christie's kind of come to them and say, yeah, I'm going to pull my money out. People like Christie, and they're going to say, no, 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 please, now you can have the conversation with us. We're not going to forget those things. If you talk to we'll talk about ISDA banks for a quick sec.
Yeah. Go
If
ahead.
if the banks don't want to give you the time of day right now, because maybe you don't have a lot of assets in the bank, right? But these shares we have are going to be worth a hell of a lot. When the time comes to move those kind of attendees out, yeah, you'll get the person from the 10th floor coming down in the suit to say, hey, excuse me, sir, ma'am, let's have a conversation about that. Don't pull your money. That's when it's going to really hurt them. So, not that we want to hurt people, but when they won't even give you the time of day to answer a question, um, you know, they're going to give her the time of day after the MOAS, and I think she'll enjoy that conversation.
You nailed it, bro. You nailed it. She was actually bringing that up, that there it's like almost discrimination against the less fortunate or the middle class, and she's seeing that too. She was getting pretty upset there I have private meetings with her. We have mod meetings every couple mornings for an hour before I do anything in my day. It's just how we do things on the channel. A lot of people don't know that, but now you do. We discuss stuff. We don't just fling it. We actually get in a deep discussion on it, and we have 7 mods now, I think, because we're pretty expanded all over. So we keep it that way because we like multiple personalities tied into it instead of just one-sided. And everybody out there, we love you all. And I just want to say we're not going to go through. I usually go through all the names. We don't have time for that. I'm sorry. Okay, no disrespect to anybody. Cam.
My broker did the same thing. My broker called me personally to tell me that I get access to a special phone line that bypasses everybody else, and I go straight to the senior broker because I have a certain amount of money in my accounts. So I'm getting these. So my wife's account doesn't, right? So then I said to her, "Why don't you call and ask them for the same access?" So she tried the number, and they said they wouldn't help her. So then I got on the line with them and said, "Well, it's supposed to be within the same spouse household." So then they all of a sudden they gave her access. Yeah, no, there's rules for people with certain amounts and rules for people that don't, and that's just completely BS. Which is why we got to support apes and other people that are going to try and find methods for us to invest more safely and securely, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, okay.
No, it's all good. Also, fidelity withdrawing limits limitations are lower for wire transfers than ACH. AMC, is that American Amtrade? AMCH. What does that stand for? Christy, you have to remember we're Canadian, so we're trying to. Pantheon, do you have any idea what that is? Abbreviation ACH. We'll get
I'm
that
not.
clarified. We'll
Yeah, I'm
get it
not sure.
clarified. Um, so, Mr. Charlie B, young man, we can't stretch the screen. That's the thing with Restream. I think it was, I think it was Mass that wrote a letter to them for improvements or something. I think it was him that wrote some things that they can improve on, and he did something. I remember him mentioning something about that when I was on live with them. That we're going to try something different here. Oh, then we can't see the comments though. That's the problem here. Let's see something. Just let me work on it. Is that better, my friends? You just tell me in the chat if that's better. There's a couple settings that we can go through here. And thank you, Charlie B. Charlie B. Okay, I'm just going to pull this off here. Okay. See my Fidelity broker charges. Yes, and I wanted to speak something for Canada since we're on this. I'm not going to really pull up, and if you do, we're not going to go through a whole bunch of ticker symbols here. Today I forgot to tell you that we're going to stay mostly focused on AMC. That's what. Well, Pantheon is broad, but it's on topics. But we're going to try to stay on AMC unless it's to do with financials of AMC or anything to do with it. Money, as we look at, we got lots of it. We got the money machine behind us, just sprinting. We definitely need some heavy metal or something in there, maybe like Boss. That's awesome, man. I had to play back his song a couple times. It's hard to hear, but there's a lot going on in that song. Did he get that specially made for him?
No,
Pantheon, do you know?
it's from an animated TV show from 1998 called Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's
okay.
I never knew about it. I heard Boss's song and I thought this thing is genius. And then a friend of
Yes.
mine from Montana told me that in fact it's from Cowboy Bebop, and Boss added his kind of phrases on top of it. So I started checking out the show. It's actually really good. Do you ever see the TV show Firefly? Did you ever watch that?
No, I didn't. Is it American Canadian?
It was an American on Fox years
Okay.
ago, but it was basically cowboys in space kind of thing. I'm
Ah,
simplifying it. That was inspired from Cowboy Bebop, so it's actually a really good series. I'm actually pretty happy that I started checking it out.
are you? I'm gonna write that down. And Mr. Sticky Note Man here. Where are my sticky notes? Just hang on a second. I have sticky notes, but I ran out of them. Oh, here we go.
I'll
I have.
I'll email you a link. There's a
Oh,
channel on YouTube that's got them all there for free.
please.
Yeah, you can just watch them
Yeah,
through a yeah, it's a pretty sweet playlist they have there.
that's awesome. I'll do that when Pantheon Radio is in between breaks. Because I listen to Pantheon Radio right here off my Bose speakers, sitting here, just doing my homework and building stuff for the channel, doing thumbnails and stuff, and just listening away, and that's why I'll jump on the chat once in a while, and then you'll see
Oh,
me disappear for a while. And
we do
my
groundbreaking entertainment on that channel. You know, we were talking about top 10 90s music. I mean, we're breaking ground.
yeah,
We're
that
just
that's
having fun and
awesome.
messing around, man. That's all we do.
And it is
Or-
so good, man. The niche that you have is genius, and it just I've noticed it's just started off something and it just grows. It's nice when something manifests into something beautiful like that off of just a basic AMC, and it just went. And then you're into baseball, and then some of the concerts you went to is very intriguing. You listen to a lot of the same music as me, my friend. You would be
Let's just
surprised.
talk about that for a second, like YouTube channels as a whole.
Yes.
Doing Pantheon Radio, you know, and I mentioned this the other night on Saturday. I was on Massalorian's 1 year anniversary show,
Hmm.
and you know, one of the things that I discovered having done Pantheon Radio is that people tune in to these shows, these channels, to get information on our beautiful stock AMC and GME, but they also tune in because they want to be with other similar minded apes in a community where we support each other, and people don't want to feel like they're in this alone because you know the thing's gone up, it's gone down, there's negativity out there. You know, we support each other, and you know, I thought that I had to have on Pantheon Radio, I'd have to have, you know, 4 hours of entertainment ready of actual topics to cover, but the reality is they're going to take over the comments and direct the conversation where they want to go. And I love that because, you know, that's why I like the live streams better than making videos. The beautiful people here, you know, we got Diaz, Wolfie, Dana, Christy, Jeffrey, and so on. You know, Mellow Doug, they're gonna let us know what's important to them, and then we kind of flex the show with them and do this together as one you know one. I hate to use the word family because it's overused by certain people, but for anyone that says, "Oh, there's nothing to talk about. Why do these YouTubers keep talking?" It's because it's not that we have to have breaking news information. It's that people want to be part of this experience together, right? What we're doing is big. We've been doing this 14, 15 months. Who knows when it's going to finally squeeze, but it will squeeze. But in the meantime, we're building relationships and real friendships here. And this is just, it's beautiful to see.
Buddy, you nailed it, bro. 100%. We talk about that all the time, and that was reminded to me yesterday. Um, Cameron was on the server there, speaking for myself, and just hanging out there, just asking people, "Hey, like, what's up?" And everybody's saying, "You don't believe what this has done, right?" Just reassurance day for Cameron. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And it just people just came out from everywhere, and it was beautiful. And then they told their stories about how it's changed. I don't hear that stuff. I don't hear that stuff ever. And it just went right off to like right to their kids in the morning getting ready for school, and then they warm their vehicles up, and on and on and on. The radio's on with headsets in the forklift cruising around. And it just sorry about the people flying by my house here. Hopefully it doesn't get too annoying. I can close that window. Just getting warm in here with these computers running. But yeah, to the point where people are doing uh, yard work outside with like multiple crews. We'll have it on a DeWalt stereo system with this just pounding through the job site. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. So it just and it's the same with Pantheon Radio. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I was walking by my neighbor's house and I could hear it playing. Right? Like,
I've,
it's
I've learned,
catching on.
I've learned so much doing that. Like I thought at first if people were, you know, joking around and messing around in the comments with nothing related to what I was talking about, I thought that I was doing something wrong. But I learned that's not true. You know, it means we're doing something right. So when they start joking around and they're like, you know, messing with each other, that's a beautiful thing. It really is. And I've embraced it now.
Right on. That's awesome, buddy. Yeah, I was seeing it today. Yeah, it was I have to learn how to just kick back on that because today I was kind of like, it's getting out a little out of control. And then afterwards, I was like, because it's settled down, right? You guys mellow out a bit, right? And then afterwards, they're like, well, what do you mean? You kind of killed it. I'm like, okay, I won't do that again. You guys do whatever you want in there as long as you're not beating each other up. Um, so a couple of months ago, Wolfie, AMC, GME, a couple of months ago, they were saying that they would never loan shares. That soon changed. Appreciate your answer, Jets. Always great to hear a smart people's thoughts. Go
Yeah,
ahead, my brother.
some of these brokers, they put in their terms and service terms and agreement that they will actually do that. Others just automatically, like Robinhood as an example, will automatically put you on margin as soon as your account opens up. Now you can actually, there's ways you can go in and change that to a cash account, but they will automatically do it, not tell you about it, and then just start loaning out your shares. So that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, Wolfie. Everyone needs to make sure that you at least once a week, at least, maybe even more, just go into your account, double check your settings, because sometimes they change it from a cash to a margin, and then they'll say, "Oh, it's a glitch. We don't know how that happened." But then they start loaning shares out. So always double check your settings with your brokers. It's different in Canada. Well, it's supposed to be different in Canada, but there's a way they go around it by routing to US order desks. That we'll leave that for a second. But if you're one of these smaller online payment apps or broker apps, just double check your settings and make sure that you haven't been switched back to margin, because there's lots of reports of people discovering that indeed happened. And once you put it back to cash, then they have to recall your shares if they've loaned them out.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew the whole thing on that, but they have to. That's good to know.
Well,
That's
if
good to
if
know.
if if they switch your account to a margin account, but you're not even
Yeah,
using margin, now they can loan your shares out, right?
yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
So then when you switch it back to a cash account, now they're not supposed to do that. Now, will they actually, recall the share? Who's to say that they'll actually do it?
yeah.
But the rule is that they're not supposed to loan them out if it's a cash account with no margin. So that's why they keep switching them. Plus, if you're switched to a margin account and this thing pops, or when this thing pops, they could say your account is at risk and they could always sell your shares on you. So you got to be careful, right? Make sure you're not using margin accounts if you're not actually going to use margin.
Yes. I got something to say to that. I just got a message from my bank saying that I'm overdrawn on my AMC shares $500. I do not know what that's about because I buy them just straight up through a Canadian cash account. My TSFA, all that stuff's already maxed out. Um, so I can't really add to it. Um, unless because we're not going to get into it. It can grow, but you can't add to it. It's just like I can't keep on adding money to it more than well, you can do it multiple times a year as long as you don't go over that allotted amount. But yeah, I got a thing saying that I'm over leveraged on one of my accounts, but I don't understand. I think it's a glitch, anyways. I'm going to deal with that once we get off the phone here. That's one of my things on my list, and then pay my cell phone bill from the RCMP for having my cell phone in my hand. The other day, I got a $400 ticket. So I didn't actually have it in my hand. It was in the cradle, and I pushed send. Cop knocked on the window, zzz, window down, and it rang through my truck. He's like, "I seen you touch your cell phone. $400 ticket plus points." I'm like, "Holy crow! Are you kidding me?" And so I will definitely be disputing that. Good thing I have a camera in my truck. So yeah, we'll see on the laws on that. I guess that's happening all over the place. But yeah, Cameron was bad. Um, all because I was calling the wife to see what she wanted from the grocery store. It's not her fault. It's my fault. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay. It taught me Pantheon needs some real clout. Wolfie. Do you see anything else, brother? I'm trying to go through it here. Mike.
Christy confirmed that she checks her account regularly to make sure it's cash, not margin. Excellent work, Christy. That's exactly what people need to be doing. Take ownership of your accounts and double check these things yourself. It's just good that we remind people to think about that. So that's great.
Yeah. Okay. So just removing some people because of bad comments here.
And Michael Doyle, you're a beautiful person.
Michael Doyle. I lost that comment. I just had that one. I was going to pull it up and I double
Don't
clicked
put
it.
it up. He's just saying nice things about Pantheon Radio. We don't
Oh,
need
is
to see
he?
it on the screen. I just want to acknowledge and say thank
Oh,
you.
okay, okay, buddy. Because I double clicked it and it disappeared somehow, and I don't know where it went.
I don't have an ego. I don't need to see that stuff on the screen, but I do want to say thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome, brother. Okay, sorry about that. I just had seen a couple bots here I had to get rid of. See, I can pick them out sometimes over the mods, just because I know I have photographic memory when it comes to avatars. For some reason, I don't know why. That's why I'm really diligent on my server. Or sorry, I'll correct that on
I see it.
our
I
server.
see a
Go ahead.
12:45 Wolfie's asking me to adopt him. So is Pam the trader. So The family's getting really big, and Mrs. Pantheon might have a word to say about that.
That is so, man, that's hilarious.
Wolfie's good.
Okay.
Wolfie's good people. He really
I
is.
know. I got a nice warm welcome from these two gentlemen, actually three gentlemen on and I disclosed that to this morning to the Wolf Pack that I'm cheating on you guys. I'm on another server.
Hey, let's
So
talk about that for a second. I am in 8 different Discords.
oh
I've
really?
been I've been in this thing since January 2021 in this play, right? Right since the first squeeze. And I gotta say, I did a YouTube video on the best free Discords. I think I had 5 that I ranked. The number one was obviously the think tank from Boss Blunts. But I'm just gonna say the two strongest, I've seen a ton of communities. The two
Okay.
strongest communities by far are the Wolf Pack on WebEx and the think tank on Discord. And that's why I consistently say when people say to me, Pantheon, you can have your own Discord. You can no, I don't want a Discord. I don't want to build something because I've already got 2 places that accept me that are both the 2 places that I will be when this thing squeezes. And that's the only 2 places you'll find me. I will not be doing channel or videos live while the MOAS is going on. I will be in those 2 locations to make sure that I'm up to speed with these intelligent people that are smarter than me, but also to make sure that if anyone has questions that I can help on, not financial advice, but understanding stuff, that I'm there to help. Those are the 2 best communities, the think tank and the wolf pack. 100%.
Oh, thanks, brother. That really means a lot to all the wolves. And
So if
I just
anyone, oh, sorry, Cam, go ahead. I'm
no, go
sorry.
ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
if anyone's listening to this video who is not part of either one, please consider joining into either one of those communities. I really truly stress that. They're accepting groups of people that want to help. And it's really, you got to find a group of people that'll actually have your back, right? And these are the 2 best places I've found. Sorry, Cam, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, no, you didn't. You're fine, man. There is a little bit of a. It's not like on the server, and Pantheon have actually helped design some stuff without him knowing it. When we talk in our server, there's actually a button you can put your hand up. So we actually had an issue on just talking on platforms like this. There's a bit of a lag, so sometimes you'll cut the person off by accident and you don't mean to. It's just I wish there was a thing on this where you could just, you know what I mean, where it's just us seeing it. I'm actually going to mention that to Restream on our server. We can, if the person that needs to talk, you put this button and a hand comes up and it says, I'm the next person to talk, or can I please talk next? I wish they had that on here for between creators.
Yeah,
That's just,
but the tool's important, but also the person who's going to manage the tool. And on your Saturday chats, and by the way, if you guys join the WebEx with the Wolfpack through a membership, you get access to a group Sunday chat or Saturday chat where it's on the WebEx. It's nothing like on the YouTube channel. It's even better. But people like Jay are the one, he's the guy that moderates it. Jay does a
correct.
fantastic job making sure people are ask questions in order, that they get handled correctly. He helps manage the whole thing. It's like when you watch Tony Denaro do a live stream with a bunch of people, Tony manages it very, very well. He knows how to make sure people get their 2 seconds or get their 5 minutes to talk or whatever it is, right? People don't get overran. So like I gotta just say, Jay, exactly, Citizen Kane, good one, Jay. Jay is one of the best ones. So,
Yeah.
get given a lot of love because we're receiving a lot of love here.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Yeah, Jay works for Christy. We'll put it that way. Christy, it's her server. I'm just Christy turned into a vampire yesterday, so a werewolf. I mean, so yeah, we kind of went. Us guys went. Whoa, definitely, she's feisty. So we all know we all know what she's. We're talking about right now. It's kind of she's a wolf. But she went into werewolf mode yesterday, so it was actually pretty neat that how much she loves the wolf pack. Pantheon, I got one from our brother here, Diaz. Pantheon, do you think that banks could pass a stress test today? Maybe we'll speak from Canada and the States. What's your take on that, bro?
Yeah, I think the banks pass a stress test today. I do think that they could. And there's also a lot of leeway with how they analyze it. If they're not prepared for the results to say no, they're not gonna announce that to us. So I'm not too worried about banks passing a stress test today. I think we're quite there yet. I think we need to see some more downward movement in the overall economy or some other thing to happen first. But we wrapped up the day at 1870 in regular trading hours, 6.9% up, $1.22 up today. Green is good. So I'm happy with that today. And not that this is a big deal, but I mean, you always feel better when you see your stock in green.
That is. Okay, breaking news here. Literally just
Oh, look at that.
2 minutes behind. Not behind. Well, it is because it's history, so it is what it is. And did we hit? We had a little bit of a negative pull down, but that's normal for volume after closing. Market closed at $18.70. Beautiful 7% in the green as a positive. 7%. It's nice saying the green positive, the positive symbol behind it. That was a pretty good go today. Wow. Thank
I
you,
didn't even
AMC.
see American Trader to put that on the screen. I'm sorry about that, American Trader. I
I
didn't
just
mean to
put it
steal
up.
your
I
thunder.
just put it up
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
that's it is. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, he does. The questions are coming in now. So they're just saying thank you for mentioning the server. Diaz is a moderator. I just want to I seen him as a moderator there, but he's a full time mod on Boss's thing, Pantheon. And are you or?
Diaz is an amazing individual. I give him a hard time a lot, but he's moderating like I think 4 or 5 different channels.
Oh,
He's
wow.
becoming the next Pam, and like Pam, everybody loves Diaz. So I give him a hard time because he's an
No,
awesome dude.
it,
But
it's just how it is.
yeah, he's a moderator for Boss's channel. I don't know what happened. One day, Boss just sort of threw a wrench at me, and I have a
Ooh.
wrench on my. I don't know. I'm a moderator on his channel too, but I just sort of wait for Diaz to tell me, Pantheon, do something, and then
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
help him out. But yeah, I was both chatting last night and I was also checking it out in comments as a moderator as well yesterday. It was fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Mitch. Sorry, Pantheon. Thank you, Mitch. I'm glad this came up on Restream. Okay, I see it. We have an issue with donations on here or chats of any kind. Coming up on Restream. I don't know how that came up here, and I seen it. Oh, it's a super sticker. Okay, that's different. We just got that opened up, the super sticker thing, because of our growth on our channel. I think, or just unlocked or something, because I've never seen that before. Thank you. I really appreciate that. The channel does. All that stuff goes into a pot, not literally pot, but it goes into, to clarify that, because a lot of people indulge in sundial here. So no, it doesn't go for that. Um, so it goes into an area, an account, and it's just used for stuff for the wolf pack. Okay, I don't use, and the moderators have access to this at any time they want. We don't use that stuff. It's only used for like computer upgrades, all that kind of stuff. Okay, it's not used for me to go take the wife out for dinner. Okay, I'm very very strict on that. It's always been like that. Okay, I just wanted to tell people that because people like to know where their money's going, right? So that yeah, that's awesome. And I do have a thing with creators. If they are on with me and money does come in, it usually gets, that is up to the other creator. It usually gets split. Okay. So I don't, it's not just me. So I will talk to Mr. Pantheon about that later. Just to see what else is coming up here.
Mellow Doug at 1304.23. That's one we should bring up.
1324.
1304.23.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, from Mellow Doug. That's a question we should take a look at, please.
Mr. Mellow Doug. Okay. It's weird. The numbers are actually off a bit on your screen to mine. Is this the one? It was just off fractionals.
Yep.
Is this the one, bro? Okay,
Yep.
go ahead. Bust her out.
So he's saying, hey, Cam, ask Pantheon if he's heard anything called the dilution for HYMC on April 22nd and what this will do for HYMC. I am not aware of anything that the company has released for further dilution. I believe that they don't need to do it at this point. So if there's a release, I thought I'm up to speed on it with Highcroft. If I'm not, then I need to do a little bit more looking. If people could point me in that direction, I'd certainly take a look at it. But what is going on? They've got enough money now to cover most of their debt and move on to the investigative slash exploration phases. They're doing drilling on site now in certain pockets. They know there's deposits, and then they're going to take 18 months to build the facility to help get that gold and precious minerals out of the ground. That's not going to be for another year and a half. So we're looking at basically 3 years 2 to 3 years before they're going to be extracting gold out of the newer reserves, but they've still got gold at the old location that they're still pulling out. Now, they're going to have to do another round of financing to get that facility built, but that's not going to be for a year and a half to 2 years from now. So I don't believe there's any reason for them at this point to do a dilution. And if there is something, I haven't seen it yet. But there's no need for them to do that at this point.
Okay. Thank you, brother. I
Uh,
appreciate
and
that.
and that was also echoes what Diane Garrett, the CEO of Hycroft, said on her Benzinga interview, which, by the way, was a stupid interview. She did great. The Benzinga guys were terrible.
Yeah, I kind of yeah, I
Did you
heard
watch it,
about
Cam?
that. No, I heard about that from my good friend. It was
Those
relative.
idiots. Those idiots asked her about a freaking dividend. Yeah, what are you talking about? She's got to build a mine yet, or anyways.
Like
And then they cut her off at the end of the interview. I mean, she did great,
what?
but
They
oh
cut her
yeah,
off? They
they
just
not
said
only
enough of you?
no, the guy accidentally hit the wrong button on his little console, and then the other guys, two of them. The other guy says, "Did you cut
Oh
her
my,
off?" And the first guy goes, "Yeah, I did." And he kind of laughs and goes, "Hey, Diane,
laughed?
next time you have more information, Diane, give us a call." And he looks. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh my God, that just made it look bad for all of us. Like
So
not as in,
unprofessional.
like, especially if you want to try to get a hold of something. That's can she can be could possibly be jaded from that.
Maybe.
Um, well, I hope not. I hope not. Mitch, you're you're donating money to the channel and it's your birthday, bro. Holy crow, man.
Well, happy birthday, Mitch.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mitch. It should be going
Not
the
all
other way
heroes
around.
wear capes, Mitch. You're a hero.
Yeah. Yeah, he is and he definitely has brought a lot to our channel. He's definitely a man of God and with a heart and everything. Mitch, I'm glad that you stepped on board with the wolf pack. You're bringing more than you know, okay? Every wolf has something that to offer, and even if they don't think they do, and us creators can find it. Okay, we can tell by the way you answer questions. We're not um, we know this stuff because we go through thousands of people talking to different people. You get to know maybe not 100% with the person, but you can tell by the type of questions. By the third question they ask, you can pretty much tell what category. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it at that. Hi, Tess. Thank you for the text message yet last night. I appreciate that message. It really meant a lot, bro.
Hey, Cam, we've got a
Yeah.
reply from Jeffrey and from Mellow
Oh,
Doug, both saying that they received letters from their brokers about a 1 billion share dilution to increase it
whoa.
to a total of 1.4 billion shares of authorized shares. Authorized is not issued. So I didn't know this. And Jeffrey's going to send you the letter, Cam.
Yes. Do you want to snapshot that right now? Jeffrey, can you vet what vetting means? If you don't know, some people don't. Can you take your account numbers off it, please? Just maybe not. Can you just take tape or something over it and just cover it? And if do you mind us sharing it?
That
I
is
can.
not consistent with what Diane said on that interview. And, all open book, the Wolfpack knows about this. I had an interview deal set up with her to be the
Mhm.
first one to interview her. And then they sent me an email saying that I was going to get the first interview with Diane. And then the very next day they went on Benzinga. So clearly they knew that I wasn't going to be the first. They've since circled back to me. This is breaking news. They've circled back to me to say they're still interested. I'm going to try and get them hooked up with the Massillorian. I don't want to do it now. Um, I'm just not happy with how they did it, but that's maybe this is something that we could get him to ask if we can get this thing
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is yeah, that is crazy. I get those papers all the time with just little things from stocks that some of them I'm not even in the company and I'm not even invested in them still. I must be on the mailing list or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
Um
So for Jeffrey and the Mellow Doug, stay tuned. We're trying to get the Massillorian with Diane on a specific interview. This is definitely something we'll put on the list of questions. I'm helping him work that out.
oh, good for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, you're so busy, bro. And yeah, I would be a little bit pushing that off. Maybe not like in a nice way. It's going to a friend with that interview, but yeah, I'd be a little bit. I'm going to leave that open ended. I'm not going to put a word to that, but I'd be a little about that too.
I think it'll do better for. So I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this because I think Mass wanted to keep it
Oh,
quiet,
okay,
so
okay.
I'm
We can keep
screwing
it.
up. But
We can.
it's going to do better more for his channel. I don't care. I just want I want it to take place, but I don't want to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I respect that, my friend. And you shouldn't have to if you don't want to, right? That's the whole beauty thing about creating. We do what
Well,
we want.
there's this other person I think would be a really great interview. That's this Cameron person. I'm gonna have to see if I can get a hold of this guy.
Oh, what we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh, this
Well,
Cameron Simpson guy. He might be a good interview.
right on. That's awesome, buddy. That's awesome. That would be crazy. I'm working on some stuff right now. I'm not gonna. And you're the channel's like, I hate it when you do that, Cameron. But yeah, I got some things I'm working on. And I will disclose it when I have actual information. See, that's the thing with me. I like to have the factual information before I go ahead and say because it's speculating. You guys get speculated on all day long with everything in life, and especially this AMC thing. And that's why myself and Pantheon, and I am going to speak for him on this term, is why we try to do that's into what every we cover on AMC. We try to make sure it's the correct information as far as we know as a person, and the dates. Throw those dates out the window, unless they're physically on a legal document saying that this is the date, this is the ruling, this is when it's going to be done, this is when the dividends come. Anything like that, yeah, of course we'll talk. But don't you agree on that, Pantheon? There's been enough let down in this society of
Yep.
AMC.
Yep. I agree. You said it perfectly.
So okay, yeah. So I'm just going to bring up yours, Jeffrey, just because this is what we're talking about. It's easier for people to see it. Some people are yeah, well, that's crazy, man.
That
I know
that
you.
that doesn't it doesn't make sense, and it
No.
certainly doesn't lend. You know what? I'm not going to speculate. We'll move on for me.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it's all good. I'm just. My dog told me it was my birthday. Okay, this is a big thing. Joke on the between Mellow Doug and these guys are because of just my cat told me, my dog told me the dog thing is this week. My dog told me that AMC is going to go to this price and stuff. It's just because they're what they're doing is throwing a digs at the people that are throwing all these clickbait stuff out there all the time. It's going to go on this date, this date, this date. So it's their way of telling those people, hey, stop it. Like my dog does better than you guys.
I see Mellow Doug's posted a couple times here. Didn't want to add things to my plate. Mellow Doug, this is what I'm doing. This is all good, my friend. AMC and HYMC are very much related together. And so, what's happening at HYMC is important to me. So I did not know about this. You didn't add anything to my plate. I want to say thank you for bringing that up. I do want to look into this. It's all good. And Tell Dog, by the way, Tell Dog's one of the funniest people I think I've met on this whole play. So Tell
Mhm.
Dog 424, you're awesome.
Yes, and that's all. Yes, Pantheon. That's funny that you mentioned that. Well, not funny, but it's awesome that you mentioned that. Um, he has come over to the server. I've been bugging him for a while to do it. And he's Diaz. We need Diaz here. Diaz isn't in here. I'm like, no, he's not. I don't think he'd be too busy. Thank you, brother. I'm just going to throw a couple grateful comments up here. Pixie is another one. I have some questions here that I actually got too. My mods made me. Oops, it's going to try kicking me out of here. Really?
You should pull up Citizen Kane's question from
I will.
1316.
Okay, I will. I will. Oops. Give me a second here. Give me a second, Pantheon. Sorry about this.
I think Citizen Kane gets the Pantheon prize for the day. That's my favorite comment so far.
Can
It's
they
more.
arrest my
It's
dog
more.
for?
Yeah, it's a question for you, Cam.
Is it this one? 13. Sorry, 13. Is this it? Can
That's
they
the
arrest
one.
my dog for financial advice or no? That's
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, can they rest? I don't know about that one, man.
Depends if he's a Dalmatian or not.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
hey, if it's a German Shepherd police dog, they probably could for. That's funny, man. Yeah, guys, keep up the funny comments like that. Um,
Do you remember back in the day, Cam? They used to do those movies, The Shaggy Dog, where the dog would like
I
drive the
do.
car and stuff. Those were awesome, weren't they?
Those are pure and innocent cartoons.
When I was a kid, my dad used to always put those on, and I'd be like, "What the hell? It's a dog driving a car." I always like that. And then the Saturday Night Live later on had Deuces the Driving Cat. I always like that when you see these animals driving cars and getting people in trouble. But I
Yeah,
digress.
yeah. That hey, man. Um, I know what you mean about those cartoons back. It makes me feel so old when I say that. But yeah, the cartoons are way different than nowadays. I watch these cartoons and they look totally different. If it doesn't have that old look to it, I can't get into it. I don't know why. And
This wasn't a cartoon. The Shaggy Dog was an actual dog they had acting like it was doing human stuff. You, you,
oh,
you didn't see
oh, okay. I know
those?
what you're talking about. Okay, I'm thinking of that. There's a cartoon too, and the one that goes. It's a kind of forget its name. It does a snicker thing. Sorry. I know I didn't listen to any Sundial before I came on here.
Well, those were from a long time ago. I like to bring up those kind of strange references from my old archives and throw them out there. There's always somebody who gets it, not somebody who's always saying, "What the hell is he talking about?" I just like I'm not that old. I just like bringing up the classics.
Yeah. No, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You're younger than me, I think.
No,
Actually,
we're the same age, you and me.
identical. Oh wow, that's
There's
why I
like
think we get along with the music. Why when you put the music on, it's like,
there's
holy
four
crow!
of us who are the exact same age.
Wow,
Yeah, I'll tell you offline who it is because one of them is a lady, and you should never
no,
say
no,
no ladies.
definitely. See,
That's
you're
right.
smart enough to know
I'll,
that.
I'll tell you offline. You know all four of us. Well, you mean you know the other two people. Yeah, we're all the same age.
Oh, okay, right on. That's awesome.
For KV's question, bit off topic. How can the digital coin affect the forex market? I am not as up to speed on answering that question as I should be. So I'm going to write this down. Unless you have an answer for that,
No, I don't.
I
You're more
I
about the.
I need to do some homework before I can give an intelligent answer to that question. I'm writing this down though, KV, and
Um,
I'll see what I can come up with.
Thank you, brother. The digital coin, I've kind of left away from that. That's Pantheon's area. I'm sorry, I'm putting that on you. It's just that he's already looked into a little bit of this. I heard even they're talking about it on Boss's channel. There, they just kind of touched down on it. I'm kind of staying away from that because I've learned that. I've learned this doing this YouTube stuff, and especially working with beside my brother here, is that for both of us to do the same topic on it, it's just a waste of time because the other person can cover it better or just as good. Okay. We respect each other what areas we work in the best, or else we'd be wasting time, right? Precious time that we can't get back. So yeah,
I did a
definitely.
video on Saturday about the Project Lithium coin, but really my video was more not in detail. It was really geared towards explaining to people that there's another YouTube person out there who was saying that was going to be how we all get paid, and therefore the brackets don't exist. And I was just saying that's not true.
I know
It
who you're
may end
talking
up
about.
being part of the solution, but it's not today. It's in prototype phase. It's the same person who has a hard time understanding when rules are in proposal stage, getting comments. They're not actual
Nope.
rules yet until they get through proposal stage. Comments are received and it goes to the Federal Register as a final rule version. Same with a prototype in Project Lithium. It's a prototype. If there's a prototype car, it doesn't mean everybody can go buy one today. It means they have to finish the prototype before they go into mass production, right? So that's where that came from. Now I'm bringing that up because AMC Bigham's his next video is going to be on the Project Lithium coin, and
Yes.
he's going to do a more of a deep dive than I did. I just did that what I explained, so you don't have to watch my video. Be on the lookout for AMC Bigham's video on the digital coin. He's going to go deeper into it. And Jason Bimo says Shaggy Dog was a movie. Saw it in the theater. That's right, Jason. The Shaggy Dog.
Yes, yes. And I was thinking about Scooby Doo. Yes, citizen. That's the one. Scooby Doo, the Scooby Snacks. I swear there were a bunch of stoners, those two. It's weird they have a cartoon, but yet think about it. Give it Sundial and the dog's happy, and just the whole thing about the hippie generation. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Um, anyways, I was trying to make you guys laugh a little bit there. Shaggy Dog. Yes, I got the two definitely. That's you nailed it, citizen, which is T. Um, you nailed it on that. I do have a question. It is a private message to me off the server, but Ray, I'm glad I clicked on this because I don't. I'm Canadian and Fidelity and TD, um, Canada and TD in the States is totally different, like totally different. Okay. So I'm going to read this out, and I'm going to ask my brother here what he thinks. And I know a little bit about this, but we might need the audience to help us with this. Okay. Because I want to help you, Ray. Hi, Cameron. I wanted to open a different account to buy more AMC shares, which is beautiful. Another other than Fidelity and TD, any recommendations? Um, Pantheon, what do you think? Because I got one or two, but I know what to stay away from.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't get into recommending U.S. brokers.
okay.
Being in Canada, I'm not in a position to make that statement, but there are other people in this chat definitely who could make
Mhm.
really smart recommendations.
That's exactly why I said in the chat here. There is multiple. There's Charles Schwab. There's a bunch of them. I'm going to say one thing though. I'm going to add to this, and then we're going to let the chat eat this one up. I'm going to say that I'm just going to put it out there. Not financial advice because we are on YouTube. Um, Robinhood and Webull. If you do own shares in this is one of the things we discussed. When you're selling your shares, if it was me, notice how I say if it was me, I would. And I can't own those anyways. I'm Canadian. Well, I don't know if there's a way, but I can't get them through unless I have a Canadian or American address, anyways. For Robinhood, I would sell those shares first. Those would be the first ones to get rid of, just because of the past problems. Okay, and that's just my take. You take it for what it is, and it's yeah.
Oh, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, no, we can answer a bit of this question. Avoid all payment for order flow brokers. Cam, this question came from Ray to you through the WebEx.
Yes, it did.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I will post in the WebEx. And in fact, I can message it directly to Ray. We'll
Yep.
post that. There's a good Reddit post that goes through all the payment for order flow brokers. I'll post that into the WebEx for
Okay.
the Wolf Pack. What the hell? What am I thinking? That's the first thing you have to answer. Just make sure you're avoiding payment for order flow brokers at all costs. You
Okay.
only buy it through the lit exchange, and there's options to get to the lit
Yeah.
exchange. I'll post that on the Wolfpack WebEx after we're done
Thank you,
here.
buddy. Thank you.
What the
You
hell?
can
I
just
didn't even.
throw that.
Could I not
I
even think of that?
hey, I didn't either, but I was thinking about the payment for order flow, but you covered that. I was thinking about the Canadian aspect of it. Because that's the first thing that comes to mind because I'm Canadian, right? About the payment for order flow. Oh, it's banned, it's illegal, it's highly illegal in Canada until you found out some other information that if they own in the States, that company owns any small office, anything down there, they use that as a web hook and they just divert it to get it back doing some nasty stuff on us. That's
Yeah, do you want to talk
could
about that
possibly.
for a second?
Yeah, I'll let you. That's your forte. You're the one that did the DD on it.
Oh man,
Um,
I was so frustrated. I called BMO, CIBC, and RBC and asked for senior brokers. Got senior brokers each time and asked them basically, when I make an order from Canada, how does the order get handled? Say I want to buy AMC or GME, and they all said the same thing, and I can't believe they actually admitted it. But I was able to give them one hell of a talking back. So let's take RBC. They take your order from me here in Vancouver and they route my order to the Toronto main office. At that point, I have paid cash for that transaction. There is no payment for order flow. It's not legal in the States. At that point, they route my order to their Chicago or New York office, but they bundle it with other orders for US equities and send that as a bulk order to one of those brokerages, an office within RBC to another, to a US city. Let's call it New York office. Then what they do is they take those orders, treat them as a brand new bulk order, and now they're allowed, in their words, we can use whatever the legal laws are within that country, the United States, to fulfill that order. And I said, well, what about payment for order flow? Because you guys may as well take advantage of the fee, right? You can get paid from Citadel or Virtue to do that. And the guy said, absolutely, we take advantage of that. And I said, so let me get this straight. I have a cash account in Canada. I'm paying you cash for this transaction. And then you are further getting me not best execution because you're taking payment for order flow on my order that I paid cash for in a country where payment for order flow is not legal. And that's where it originated from. If we followed the whole path of this order, you're double dipping. And then when I got to that point, well, every time all three of them went, what? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Let's have this conversation, sir, because you can't front run me on my order and scalp me and take my cash payment. Like, you're doing both to us. At least in the States, if you go to a cash account, it's a cash account. If you go payment for order flow, it's payment for order flow. You're hitting international people and doing both. And they said, all brokerages take advantage of this, sir, because it's legal once it's in the States. And I'm like, no, no, it's not. It's not. Like, it's not. The rule doesn't say if I only buy through the TSX that I have to, my cash account's valid. It's orders, period. So this is one of the ways they've got around it, which blew my mind. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good material, man. And like Pantheon said, he actually called physically.
Oh,
That
yes.
is so frowned upon. I use that as one of our Canadian bragging rights. Because of that. That is law up here. That has been passed. That is something that we are proud of, and that's what we're trying to get the states to go with. And I think the UK is the same on that, but I don't know about the diversion, like what this Pantheon
The payment
explained.
for order flow, it's illegal everywhere except the United States.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone else in the world says this isn't
In the
right
world.
because it's
Holy.
not providing best execution. And these morons on that Senate hearing where they were trying to make Roaring Kitty look stupid, and yet he's the only one that came out of it looking good
Yeah.
because all he did was sit there and say, I just like the stock. Like, what more do you want from me? And he's right. But like these idiots were saying how payment for order flow is actually not a bad thing and it still gives you best execution. It doesn't give you best execution. There's no possible way. Anytime somebody wants to pay to get your order sent to them, there's an incentive for them to do it. And then Ken Griffin had the gall to say in an interview, oh, I wouldn't mind if they banned payment for order flow because, quite frankly, it's a cost for my business that I don't want. Well, if you don't want the cost for your business, then just don't do it. Obviously you're doing it because he's not stupid. He's doing it because it's beneficial to them. Why? Because the brokers and these market makers, they're not smarter traders than us. They're
Nope.
not better at picking stocks. They're not better at timing the market. They trade on information and they pay for information. Like, I know it's a TV show, but if you watch Billions, you see exactly. I know it's a TV show, guys, and it's sensationalized and all that jazz, but it's got some truth to it, like the whole chicken farm episode where the guy's paying an insider to tell him about the futures of chicken or whatever it was. And then the chickens got sick and that was going to hurt it. So they knew when to short it. Having that information in advance is what makes them look like they're smart and able to time the market and able to pick better stocks. They're not. Some of them maybe are, but they're not. Like, these guys just trade on information and fees. It's how they make all their money. And why am I going on a rant? Rants are supposed to bring the price up. I shouldn't be ranting after 1 o'clock.
Hey, hey, I can't look at I could pull it up on here. You never know. What if pre-market took off? Right? Or tomorrow morning, man. We're just pushing this off till tomorrow there, ladies and gentlemen. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna look on rant. Yes, and they are the best. Pantheon
They're
rants are
not
the
as good
best.
as a Bigums rant. When you get AMC Bigums going on a rant, that stuff is epic. I just sit back. Like last night, I was on the chat. I didn't talk for a while because
Yeah.
Bigums went into a rant, and I just sat back. I'm like, I'm enjoying this. I'm a fan. You go for it, buddy. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say you're putting off till tomorrow? I mean, I'm not in any hurry to get off this, Cam. We can keep going if you want.
Yeah. Okay. I was just
Oh,
writing you a private PM. There you go. You just got it now.
oh no, I'm
Okay.
having fun.
Are
We don't
you
have, yeah,
okay,
we don't have
buddy?
to stop.
I didn't know if you had any plans with the missus.
Oh, she gave up on me when I started this channel. She
Oh,
gave up.
did you? Same with
Yeah.
mine. Mine is mine. I can go for about another half an hour. If that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Mine wants me to go down and get some food. So or I could just stop and hey, order something in. She's cool like that too, right? It's just that yeah, the things our wives do for us, you gotta love them, right?
Mine's working today, so I mean, during the daytime, this is easy for me. Although I don't choose. I'm actually enjoying this.
Are you?
This is my first day chat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different for sure. It's different, and yeah, we're rocking. We got like a lot of people in here. That's pretty good for it because we got a lot of competition at this time, and yeah, the thing is people getting off work and stuff like that. But there's a lot of channels. But what we're doing is we're doing something unique right now. They're talking about different stuff than what we're talking about. So most people are just pulling the charts up and going into stuff, doing technicals on it. Um, I can do that, but it doesn't really matter until tomorrow, because I just, the people that are good traders know that you can't predict AMC. Okay, it doesn't work like that. It has a mind of its own. We're in a market slide right now. There's a whole bunch of contributing factors. First thing in the morning, those zero commission apps start dumping. So we got usually a pull down, unless there's so much volume, it just gets the algorithm spin up and it takes off. In AMC, that's far in between. We all know that. But usually within about a half an hour, these things get a tailwind and they'll go up on AMC. So yeah, we'll keep on just pounding it out here.
Sure. Look,
Um,
my opinion, and I've got friends that are technical people that will probably shoot me for saying this. Technical analysis right now in AMC, I think it's a good learning tool, and it's more retroactive than proactive. I have yet to see, other than somebody looking at bands and for the day, but the bands move every day. I have yet to see anybody use TA to accurately predict when we're going to do anything major. I just have yet to really see it. There's a few that have been lucky, but they've been wrong more than they've been right. And so for me, I think it's the DD, it's the information behind what's going on that to me is more important. That's why I focus on this stuff. I focus on doing the deep dives and the digs and more of the investigation. I'm a researcher, is what I kind of say, more than I am somebody who's going to look at a stock chart. You guys want to see a stock chart? There's about 50 channels that are doing that. I think this is more
yep.
important, right? We're communicating with the people, we're answering questions, and we're getting to the heart of what's going down. This to me is far more important
Yep.
than a TA that's going to say, well, maybe tomorrow we're going to go up, maybe we're going to go down. Are we going to go out of the channel up or out of the channel down? Let's see tomorrow. Okay, so you're telling me the stock could go up or the stock could go down. Excellent.
It's pretty dry. It's pretty,
You
it is.
know that.
And it just adds to that whelm, because I do that in the mornings, but notice with AMC, I'm totally different. I only do 10, 15 increments, minute increments, because
Yeah.
after that, it's you don't know if they're going to ladder attack it, which is like, that could happen anytime, right? You don't know if they're going to, all of a sudden, they're going to high frequency trade it, or they're going to open that gate to the dark pool, right? And that just, the stock just all of a sudden, there's a huge amount of volume coming in, but all of a sudden it's dropping. Like, what the heck is that? We could have like a 500,000 shares going in big chunks. We've seen it happen before. So yeah, I just wanted to,
I've accomplished what I want. So now I've got people responding to me on this, which is what I wanted to have happen.
yeah,
So
no, no, it's all good. It
Jeffrey
is all
said
good.
Jeffrey said the only TA that works for trading AMC GME is the 1348 200
And
EMA
he's
crossover. It
correct.
works even when manipulated. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. And then
Mhm.
Cloud KRS, don't disregard TA just because nobody has predicted the major movement yet. They're just people who like to keep that information to themselves. So I'm going to respond to both of those and say, people can disagree with me, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm not saying I'm disregarding TA. So that's quite
That's
not what
correct.
it's not what I said. I didn't say
Nope.
I'm disregarding TA as a whole because no one's predicted the move yet, because the move hasn't happened. So clearly nobody would have predicted it yet. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's too many people, and I'll be more clear. There's too many people that have tried to use TA to tell us that the move is happening, throwing out thus dates. The dates don't happen, and then people get upset. But nobody gets upset about the DD, because the DD is the real information as to what's happening in the play. So, TAs and Testa Cleve likes Tiende. So,
Yeah.
Testa's doing fantastic with that one. But I'm not saying TA doesn't work, but I'm going to say this, Cloud KRS. I'm going to say this for me. I don't believe one single person who does TA knows exactly when it's going to pop because they're keeping it
No.
to themselves. I don't think that's possible. So, hey, man, disagree with me. It's cool. That's why we're here, to have
Yeah.
these conversations. I'm not right in everything I say. That's the way I handle it. But I'm also not stressing out that we're going to do 369 or we're going to pop on this date because the chart shows if I overlay the graph, it matches. We've seen that how many times? It just doesn't freaking work, right? So, but I know
Yeah.
people like Jeffrey have gotten into plays early because of what he's seen on the charts, right? So there is pieces of this that absolutely works,
Mhm.
right? Jeffrey was smart enough to get in Hycroft before Hycroft even happened, but that was more of an
Yes.
event-driven
You
move.
nailed that.
That's right. No, he's a smart trader, right? And I'm sure that Cloud KRS is also a very smart trader that leans on the technicals. You got to find a system that works for you and go with it. I know it works for me, and I still look at charts. I just don't do it on my channel.
Yeah.
I don't think doing that is for me a better use of my time than going through the stuff that I do go through. For example, let's take a look at the options chain. The
Yes, go ahead,
options
buddy.
chain in the month of May is dead. It's absolutely dead. It's more dead in May than it's been in any other month. So, now we're going to put on a tinfoil hat and say we're speculating. There's no receipts on this. But if you were a hedge fund, I talked about this on Boss's show last night. If you're a hedge fund, you got to, the art of war, right? Think, know your enemy. So if you can think like a hedge fund, which I'm not a hedge fund, but if you think like one, there's three things you got to deal with in a short squeeze. And Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to deal with the gamma, you got to deal with the FOMO, then you got to
Uh-huh.
deal with the actual closing the short positions.
You just nailed it
So
all in sequence.
if you want to try and control that and make it as people call a managed event, okay, then what you want to do is eliminate the gamma, because the gamma pop is what gets people to jump in and say, hey, I'm
Mhm.
missing out on this, I better jump in too, this thing just popped up. Now if you want to eliminate the gamma, what you need to do is eliminate the options chain as much as you can. And if you look at the contracts in April and look at the contracts in June, then look at the contracts in May, you're going to say, wait a minute, which of these doesn't belong? And that's the May options. I'm not saying we're going to pop in May. That's not what I'm saying. But these are part of the entire Frozen State Productions bought the Art of War last month. Excellent, smart. That's a very excellent read. I got a copy here too. But part of these things is what I consider part of the DD analysis. People can say it's part of the charting, that's fine. But as part of the DD is understanding how all these different pieces work together, right? The TA is important, but so is the options chain, so is the events, so is the arbitrage, so is all these other parts of the puzzle that you have to be looking at to see what is the true story here. And when you see the options chain is completely dead in May, it makes me take pause and say, why is that? Why are they restricting contracts in May? Because if you wanted theory, tinfoil hat, we're not saying it's going to pop in May, but in theory, that would be a time that would make sense to say, now we don't have to deal with the gamma because we've kept it down. We want to have all these contracts pop it in the money if we let it run. Okay. Then the next phase, well, how do you control FOMO, fear of missing out? Well, you take away the buy button. And we're just speculating here.
Yeah,
But if you let it
correct.
run in May and you take away the buy button, you're cutting out the gamma and you're cutting out the FOMO, which eliminates everything except lets you and me have a discussion about what I'm going to offer you and what you're going to ask for your shares. And that becomes a better way for them to say controlled squeeze. Not that they control when you sell, but they can control the other aspects maybe not popping. Again, I'm not saying we're going to pop in May, but I'm saying look at the bigger picture and start to put these pieces together and say, does it make sense? Does it? And some of these things start to make sense. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But we're not giving dates. We're just saying start looking at all these different pieces as one comprehensive whole, right? Sorry, Cam, I went into a
No,
rant on that one, but
no, good dude. I'm blown away because this is not your area, dude. And when I'm talking to DD, because we've talked about this before about technicals, you just would rather just somebody to deal with. You know what I mean? You blew my friggin' doors off, man.
I'm
You
I'm like I'm at Home Depot. I help in all departments.
holy crow! I'm like, holy crow, Pantheon. I've never heard you go off like that
I
before.
I
Wow.
I don't like to talk about that stuff typically, but I mean I can, right?
Holy
There's lots of other
crow.
people that do that.
No, wow. You just as your
I've
friend,
been in this
you just
game
caught me
for a
off
minute.
guard. I'm like,
I've been in this game for a minute.
yeah, I'm in it. That's awesome. I'm actually on the server right now, brother. I'm going through some stuff right now. I had a list, but my mods just
So Mellow Doug is saying Pantheon says basically put the puzzle together before you figure it out. Somewhat what I'm saying, Doug Mellow, very close. What I'm saying is understand all the pieces of the puzzle and then start putting it together, right? If you don't even know you need 10 pieces to put the puzzle together, you're never going to accomplish it. So you have to start, like, instead of waiting for Trey to say, "Oh, this is what's going to happen tomorrow," start looking at these things as a bigger. I know there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. There is, right? But looking at the options chain is something people should start doing, and it starts to tell you a story, right? It really does. It starts to tell you a beautiful story as to what's happening. There's more information, I believe, in the options chain than looking at, the stock went up 6% today and down 7% yesterday. I think there's more information in the options chain that you can decipher from. That's my opinion.
I
Feel
like
free to
it.
disagree. That's cool.
I like right on that debate things. I like it how it's open ended like that. Um, yeah, a lot of people don't like debate. Pantheon accepts it like wide open. Let's talk.
Yep.
Let's get going here. Let's
Yep.
get this going in the corner. Yeah, Pantheon. Hedge
I'm
funds to the right,
I,
Pantheon to the
I'm
left.
planning to, I'm planning to lose about 20 subs today. That's my goal.
Hey, there you
I'm
go. It
kidding.
doesn't roll like that. It
No, I'm
doesn't.
kidding.
It's no. That's funny. That's funny how you say that. A lot of people think it goes like that, and it just doesn't. People gain respect for you actually when you come forward like that and just say, "Hey, I'm not going to be part of this, and I'm doing it this way or whatever." That's what people like is assertiveness. I've noticed that with YouTube creating. It's a beautiful thing. I got a question here. On Wolfpack, I know some of you, some of the ladies, it's mostly the ladies, like to hang out on the server and they don't come out of their house. So they don't like coming on the chat bar and stuff, which I respect. Okay. And some of them, the guys too, they get in the server and that's all they do. They live in the server, eat in the server. And we have a housemaid that walks around and cleans everything up. Okay. There's laundry done in the corner. You get the picture, right? So I'm joking. So what I'm saying is, do you have any questions that you want out of the server? Just put it on the live lounge, and I will answer them. I'm in the server right now on the screen right here. I was going to type that, but it's easier just me saying it on here because I know you guys are and the ladies are listening. So if you want me to, and just put that you don't want a name attached to it, just put no name in brackets at the end, and I'll just keep it open-ended. I have respect for you and my friends. So, wow, there's a lot of people in there right now.
Hey Cam, can I give
Go
a
ahead,
plug?
bro.
Can I give a plug to a couple of friends of ours?
Yeah, fire away, bro.
I don't know if he's announced it fully yet, but Boss Blunts is going to be the guest tonight on the Massalorian. So I would recommend people check that out. Two of my favorite people.
Yes. Mass's channel mods, please can you grab me Mastodorian's stream link, his URL, please, for his channel. I don't have it, and if you wouldn't mind putting it up in my under my messages in the server under Alpha Wolf, please. I'm going to add that to a permanent notification to the bottom of our channel here. Mass is a friend of mine too. I'm just building that archive up. I had to erase a couple things off of there, so I'm just building it up. I ran out of room. They only allow you a certain amount of characters in there, right? So I'm actually adding to it. So what I'm trying to do is I have a list of creators there, but I don't have their URLs for their channel. I didn't know that when you save it, it puts it in a nice blue thing with a link. It makes it into a link for you. I didn't know that until I was adding AB the other day there. And then I put save and I went back and I'm like, what the heck is that line there? That blue liner. I didn't put that there. Did it just make a formal link out of that URL? I clicked on it right to his channel within lightning speed. I left my AMC shares behind me. I went so fast to his channel. So it was awesome. So we're going to start doing that more. Yeah. Okay. What's going on? What's going on to be on fire?
You should see Jeffrey's comment from 1344. It's a good one. You'll like it.
There, I got it. We'll pull it up for you. Cam. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We were actually talking about that the other day, me and my bro here. Yeah, it just happened that we're outnumbered on our server and on the channel with fine, beautiful ladies. It's I know it's just kind of different, and they're very protective over the channel. Holy crow! Especially thank you, Christy. I really appreciate that. She double posted it here for you. There's Mass's Massalorian is the full. We call him Mass, just because it's a tongue full for me, at least. I'll speak for myself. That's his link right there. I will add that. Oh, thanks for putting it in my room too. She put it right in my room. Thank you. You're such a good mod. So yeah, I appreciate that. So there's his link. Go check him out. Boss is going to be on there tonight. I'll definitely be over there. And what I'm going to do is take it one step further. Oh, I can't share that. Oh, it won't let me.
Mass asked me to come on with him. I'm not going to do that. I'll be in the comments being a smartass.
Okay, I'll join you. I'll
Yeah.
join you.
No, I'm not going on. I think those two will be an excellent. People hear me enough. But looking at Jeffrey's comment, I mean, I think the average I saw somewhere on YouTube was less than 4%. Most channels in the
Yeah.
AMC are like less than 4% ladies, and it's good when you see stats like what are you're 15% or something, Cam, or higher,
Between 11 to 15% on my YouTube channel.
which may not sound like a lot, but that actually is a substantial amount and shows a channel that's perhaps a bit more, I don't know. Well, we're definitely appealing to a broader audience, which I think is good, right? Because I'm almost to your range too. So
Yes,
yeah,
we're almost identical. When I say that the 15 is the high, because the channel does it updates. It doesn't just tell you right to the minute. It does, I think, every 7 days to a month. It's weird how YouTube is. Same as when they do their chump change that they pay us, our cents that we get, our peanuts for all the time, which we don't do it for the money aspect, or else I would have given up a long time ago. It's to get the information out there, and I think my
yep,
brother feels the same.
yep.
You can't make a living on YouTube unless you're like 30, 40,000 subs and you're getting a substantial amount of hits. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I go ahead,
yeah,
buddy.
even more than that. Like Jackson Hunter's got 40,000 plus subs. And Jackson was saying the other day, he doesn't get enough revenue off YouTube to like do anything substantial. Like, yeah, you got to be like someone like Trey that 390,000
That's
subs
crazy.
and 90,000 views a video. I mean, he earned it, but that's where you got to be to make money on this, on this stuff. It's not about money, right? And it's a funny thing because my wife never listens to me, but I've got a nice contingent of ladies that seem to like the channel, so I'm happy.
That yeah, exactly. It's a good thing. I just disclosed that to my wife, and she paused for a second, right, and you could just see the gears going in her head. She think, "What the heck is he doing in there?" Right, right. And then she knows the channel, and then she's like, she told me, "Hey, that's a good sign." About they feel safe, obviously, on the channel. So they're definitely not coming here for me, Tess, with my hair all falling out and getting all gray and actually, but my wife says she loves the salt and pepper look. Even when I was younger, I started getting that, and she's like, "Oh my god, I love that." I'm like, "Are you kidding? You like old men?" And she's, you don't know Nora, or else, yeah, you would get to know. Yeah, she's from the new. She's Newfie, so she's from the East Coast of Halifax. Very beautiful people. We got a bunch of them on the channel. And I say it, and I'll keep on saying it. Some of the best cooks in the world, especially for seafood, lobster, and stuff like that. If you like that, oh my god!
Nothing wrong with the salt and pepper look. He's just becoming a silver fox.
Thanks, but yeah, that's what she said too. That's what she said too. I
I had a
just
sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. I was just making this comment here. And it says CAAA, which is the Canadian flag. That's weird how it doesn't, that's not smart enough program to figure it out yet that that's a friggin' flag. But, and I'm trying not to swear as much on my channel. It's working actually. Oh, and it was nice that Ma came over and seen us today. But yeah, she's still in my head. Ma, is Harris there? She's, it definitely is good. I'm trying to hold back on that, just out of respect, because especially in the mornings, a lot of our members are getting kids ready for school and stuff, and it's like, oh, he just said that. Did he just say that? Did Mr. Cameron just say that? Grab the kids' ears, right? So yeah,
Yeah. Same on Pantheon Radio. Most of the people that I find tell me that they replay it, and they'll play it when they're getting ready in the morning, or they're doing dishes, or they're working out or whatnot, because you don't have to watch what I'm doing to listen to the radio show. And they play it while they're doing stuff around the house, cleaning up
yes,
the house. So that's why I make an effort for me, I make an effort to never swear on the channel. I go on rants. It's probably not good for kids, but I try not to swear because I want people to feel safe putting the show on while they're doing other stuff and not have to worry about their kids hearing cusses and swears. Not that the kids don't hear it elsewhere, but I'm just, that's the way I was brought up. And I had a professor in architecture school who had pure silver hair, and people used to always say, you don't look that old. And he'd always say, I'm the silver fox. So that his name around the school became the silver fox. And I asked him one day, why do you keep calling yourself the silver fox? It's a cool name, but you don't really
yeah,
give yourself a nickname. And he
yeah,
said, what you'll understand in the world of architecture is you've always got to find a way for the clients to remember you. And when I tell you guys I'm the silver fox with silver hair, every one of you students remember me. And I'm trying to teach you that's how you get clients to say when they come to the office of 50 architects, they say, I want Pantheon. that's my guy. The guy in the sweater vest, that's the guy I want, right? So you got to
Yeah.
find something. You'll see architects wear like weird colored glasses, or they have like bright
Yeah.
colored suits, or it's because they're just trying to find a way to stand out and be original.
Is that what
So
it is? Is that
yeah,
what it is? Because they're like doctor, like they're just a total uh a group of their own, and
yes.
they've carried this back from like the 1700 look into this new era. Go ahead, brother. Explain more
No,
about that. I'm very
no,
intrigued with that.
you nailed it. That's basically it. Like they're just trying to find ways to stand out in the crowd and be original. There's this one guy I know from the States. When
Yeah.
he would do presentations, he would have it projected on an overhead old school. So like an
Okay.
overhead projector with like a piece of a clear paper. He put that on for his drawing, and then he'd go up to the screen. He'll take his shoelace out of his shoe and then stand there and use the shoelace to measure off the projector to give you scale. And people
Oh.
remember stuff like that. Now I mean, I think it's stupid, but but people remember it, and it's not whether it's smart or not, it's whether people are going to say that's my
Mhm.
architect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good life lesson. Anyhow, sorry, we went off topic.
No, 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 no. This is beautiful stuff. I do a lot of weird things like that to remember things. Because I have a problem, like I said, not remembering avatars. I just have a memory for that. That's why I'm very on the server there. I have Cameron's OC, the mods right away. If you come on the server and you have a gray dot, they right away they're like, you got to change that. You got to change that. He'll mention something as soon as he comes on the server. He's going to be all over those people about that. Is because in case we go into a squeeze, I need to know and identify you, or else it just comes up as a gray dot with his initials. Well, I can't, those initials don't compute in my head, and it gets me all agitated because I like to be able to like answer questions and be on things. It's just how my calculating mind works. So what it is, it's a glitch in the matrix in my head. So if I have that, it just things work better. So, so yeah, they're all over it.
Mellow Doug's got a bail. Mellow Doug, thanks for being here today.
You take it
He's got
off.
to go because the missus is home. Mellow Doug, make sure you do the dishes tonight.
Oh yeah, he got thumped last night. I was reading that on the server. He got a good old kick in the head while he was sleeping. I've had that what happened to me once. I almost had a black guy got hammered on by the wife. I don't know who she was, but you guys know that my wife's a kickboxer, right? So back in the day, so she has a good right. She has a good left hook. She's one of those sneaky ones that doesn't. You're thinking, oh, she's right-handed. Wham! So yeah, she's knocked a lot of girls out in a ring, of course. Professional. We're not talking about on the street. Um, so yeah, she has that sneaky left hook. What is it? How many? I forget what percent of the population is left-handed. It's low. Um, I forget what it is. She knows. But anyways, I always bug her because can openers and she's really she'll challenge anything. Right. That's what I love about her. She's kind of like me. If I can't get things right, she'll just keep on going and going and going. Except that I'll get agitated and angry, and usually it'll be like this and walk away, and then I come back. I'm one of those people, but she won't. She'll just put her mind into it. Opening something up with a can opener. Okay. I don't know if a lot of people know there's right hand and left can openers. So you can buy them. Okay. So somebody that's left-handed, it just if you think about like unless it's one of those top ones where you put it on the top and you can spin it, but if it's actually one of the yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about if you really think about that one. So yeah, please Pantheon, if you okay, I'm just reading some questions. Okay, I'll skip that question. I just don't like it the way it's put. Sorry, I
Citizen,
just
Citizen Kane's figured out that whole life thing. He says he does the dishes in the evening and frickin' cooks sometimes. There you go.
is
Just
that what he's up?
don't just cook hot dogs and beans though. You got to do something better than that. But Citizen Kane's got it all figured out.
Yeah, the hot dogs and beans, you just triggered something in my head here. I'm the old melon. But Trey's trades. I bringing Trey up. It's funny that you just he on Easter. I just because I get it pop up on my Twitter feed, right? I guess he was gonna. He says on my Easter, I'm gonna be having hot dogs in the microwave or something with my cat. like it just. I don't know why I mentioned that, but it just you
Oh,
brought me
that's
the
why people said he was. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it.
yeah yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't know that.
you heard that too? You
No,
heard that?
I heard jokes afterwards, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Now I
Yeah,
get it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were doing. Yeah, I guess I read that. It just pops up on my Twitter feed. I don't
I
know.
saw this funny joke on the think tank wet or Discord last
Yeah,
night. Somebody put a picture on there of hot dogs wrapped in like a sandwich, a slice of sandwich bread, and they said you don't know hard times until you've had hot dogs in like a slice of bread. And my dad
yeah,
used to do that all the time. My dad used we'd come in we grew up on a farm. We'd come in
yeah.
off the field. My dad would nuke some hot dogs when we were kids and put him in a slice of bread. I was normal to me. So I see people in the think tank joking about that last night. I was like, oh come on, that's not hard times.
No, that
It's
isn't
funny.
hard
It was
times.
funny. They're funny people there.
Did he butterfly them too? Did he cut them so they'd open up into the sandwich, or would he just
Oh
leave
no,
them round?
my
Right.
dad
Okay.
wasn't fancy. He just threw it in there and said, "There you go. Wolf it down.
The
We're going back out to do some more summer follow."
Pantheon, I think that's a Canadian thing, because that is. I did the same thing. I used to be when I was well, not on a farm. I did live on a farm. We had two big purebred Arabian horses. It wasn't like a farm like probably you're talking. It wasn't like a working farm where you had to go. I just fed horses and all that. But I was so busy as a kid, I was so hyperactive. My parents just to my dad would always say to me when I was younger, because he wasn't around after I was 19. He passed away. But when I was really young, he would say his rule was, Sonny, kids outside. You weren't allowed in the house. Just because the reason why I did that, I thought about it afterwards because I was so hyper. I'd be like hanging off the chandelier and stuff. And I'm the only child. So it must have been a nightmare on. That's probably one of my mom's gray hair, and she's all high strung, right? Just imagine, you guys know how hyper I am. Imagine me back younger, and I'm mellow now. But more of the story is, I used to get hot dogs made, not all the time, but I'd cruise by. I had one of those little Honda 50, those dirt bikes with the balloon tires on them. They were military, just advanced to the military, like about the 60, 70 range. They had the adjustable handlebars, the Honda Minis. Probably a whole lot of people are going to go, oh no, you had one of those. The balloon tires on it. I'd cruise by and grab a hot dog, and just eat it while I was riding and stuff. That's the hot dog thing. That's where I used to eat. I don't know. Just I love actually. I wanted to talk about this. I'm really having fun with this stream. You're bringing up memories and topics that were so far, that are bringing up childhood. It's actually putting a real smile on my face. It's making my heart smile. Some of the topics that you guys have brought up, and just the respect in here is huge. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it's all about building a connection, right? And when we open
Yeah,
ourselves up, like you did that other morning, I remember that morning you were going into some personal stuff, and I made a comment and said that I think this is one of your best streams yet, one of
I
your
remember
best
that.
shows yet. Yeah, like that's when we open ourselves up and show a little bit of who we are, and I know there's no face on my screen right now, but I've got a reason for that, for the time being. But
He's
when
real.
we
I second
well,
that.
yeah, I am a real boy, but when we
Yes.
when we open ourselves up and show a little bit of who we are, it allows people in, and I think that's where we speak to them, and it becomes more real. It's not just, oh, I'm going to talk about a stock. We're getting to know each other, and we're building real, lasting friendships between us and everybody in the comments, right? I mean, that's
Mhm.
you got to give them a chance to get to know who you are. And like, yeah, growing up on a farm for me, it was you had to be outside all the time, and not because they just wanted us out of the house. We were grain farmers, and
Oh.
my dad, my sister, and my brother all have asthma. So I was the only
Oh,
kid that didn't have asthma. I was the middle kid, and so basically, if you don't get out in the field, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to have crop the end of the year, right?
wow.
So yeah, I didn't have a choice, but
Please tell us more, Pantheon. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this. This is wow. I like learning this about a friend, about this stuff. Where you were in, it was in Canada, like
yep,
back east.
Saskatchewan.
Oh,
Yeah,
Saskatchewan.
yeah. My grandfather settled on some land in flat prairies of Saskatchewan, some of the most fertile land for growing wheat, barley, etc.,
Yeah.
lentils, and he had it all paid off. And my dad had two sisters, and we were the only kids. My brother and sister and I. My dad had two sisters, and they didn't have children yet. So when my grandfather passed away in an accident, a semi hit his car off the highway. The will left a piece of land to each of the sisters, and everything else went to my dad because that's where all the grandkids were, which obviously caused some dissension between wills always do that between my dad and his sisters. So,
Okay.
we basically, and there's a reason I'm telling this story. My dad inherited this whole farm. It was the second or third largest farm of a private farmer in the entire area of Saskatchewan that we were
Oh,
in.
wow.
We were big farmers, and he inherited everything paid off debt free. And by the time I turned 16, he was $250,000 in debt and had sold off half the land and was still $250,000 in debt. Now, the best man at my dad's wedding was a guy named Doug, and this guy was a financial planner. And he used to always come over to the house and sit down at the kitchen table and say to my dad, "Hey, I've got these ideas of investments. You should look into it." And my dad would say, "Oh, it's not for me. I don't need to worry about that." And I would always sit there as a kid and I'd be fascinated to hear, well, you can make money work for you. How does that work? And I used to ask all these questions and after a while, like he could come over and he'd visit with me as I was growing up, and I'd go over to his place, and he'd like him and his wife would show me. They were real financial planners, and they would show
Yeah, yeah.
me how to read stocks and how to go into the
Oh,
newspaper at that
really?
point to look over the prices from yesterday. Right, this is all pre-internet. Like, it
Yeah, yeah,
sounds
yeah.
ancient, but it's not that long ago.
I know, isn't
And
that crazy how it just went nuts with
and
they
so
got
they
the
taught me how to read these things and the kind of like the
okay.
preliminary basics into it, which was really cool. Now, growing up, we weren't spoiled, but we did. If we wanted to go ski, we went skiing. We wanted to go play hockey, we were playing hockey. We didn't have any issues with that. And what I saw as a real life example, and it's going to sound like that whole rich dad poor dad thing. I sounds a lot like it.
No, it's all good, buddy.
I resonate with that book from Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
But like, I actually literally saw somebody inherit an entire huge farm fully bought and paid for, and basically whittled it down to nothing. And by the time my dad passed away from cancer, there
Oh,
was
buddy.
nothing left. There was a house in town. They moved off the farm. There was a house in town with a mortgage, and everything else was gone. And like, I remember thinking to myself, how could you let that happen? How you had every advantage. You weren't stupid.
Price
Like,
of farming, right?
you
Is
know,
that correct? They
no,
just went down.
they spent beyond their means. They lived high on the
Oh,
hog
oh,
and
hey.
didn't ever think for a second that there was going to be consequences, right? So it was
Mhm.
a real good example of watching somebody, inherit something that they didn't work for. And that's what I'm right
Oh,
relates back to the squeeze, right? So when we get
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
tendies in the squeeze, a lot of people haven't really considered, in my opinion, what it's going to really be like when you have the money, which is why I'm bringing up things like second citizenship. If you're looking for a citizenship by investment, start thinking about what you're going to do with your money and how you're going to handle it when you have your tendies, right? And we don't know what the price is going to be yet, but you anticipate. I don't like the brackets. I think brackets is a stupid thing, but like, I've anticipated various prices and what my shares will get me after taxes, because some of it is in a taxable account, the rest is tax free. But you have to envision this. It's like a goaltender, right?
Yes, it's
you
correct.
envision you envision the puck being shot at you before they shoot it. You envision it. What if it's on the left? What if it's on the right? My blocker, my glove. What if it's
Yeah,
low? You start thinking about these things, so when it happens, you're ready to react. And we need to start, as a community. Not that I'm saying we're imminently about to squeeze, but you got
yeah.
to have your plan in effect beforehand, or you'll
Yes.
end up like 70% of the lottery winners. They win their lottery, and 2 to 3 years later they're broke.
Yeah,
Or like
70 or higher.
or
It's amazing.
like my parents had inherited basically a lottery win, and piss it away to virtually nothing except a mortgage. I mean, I'm baffled that people, but it happens. I've seen it happen in real life, and it will not happen to me and Mrs. Pantheon. So
Did it work to your advantage with the siblings though, like yourself and your brother? Did they learn from that, or did they take that trait with
no,
them to
they're both idiots. No,
okay,
I
okay.
say
I was
that
just
lovingly. I say that
no,
lovingly,
of
but no.
course, of course.
They they
Um,
they're both on my mom's side. They could care less. And
okay.
and you know, my brother has at one point called me to say, I'm in some serious debt. I'm in
Oh,
$125,000 debt. What am I going to do? And I said, you didn't listen to
get
a
a
thing
job.
that dad did you? Oh, he
Sorry,
works. He works.
Pantheon. Sorry,
He
sorry.
works.
Okay.
So I'm going deeper into the personal stuff here, and I
No,
don't
go
mean to,
ahead.
but like,
No,
these
sir,
stories are
mind,
important
man.
because they didn't learn a damn thing. My sister lives at home with my mom still, and my brother, I told him how he's going to get out of debt, but I didn't give him the cash. If you give him the cash, he's just going to do it again. He's going to spend it on stupid
Yep.
stuff and get himself back in debt. You have to feel the pain. When you put yourself in that position, you can get advice, but you have to feel the pain or you're going to go right back to that spot again, right?
Yeah.
So,
You worked very hard for your stuff, Pantheon. I can tell by just the way you said that. I can tell you've for your schooling and stuff, you've definitely grounded yourself to get to be where you are. I know your line of work is not cheap to get yourself taught into what you're doing, right? So um, good for you, man. I know that. I can just tell. I can tell by just a person's personality.
And I'm just trying to relate all this back to, attendees. We've all envisioned it. We bought the shares. We're in the right play. This is the hedge to what's coming in the economy. This is it. We are in the right frickin' play, whether it's GME, AMC, or
Yeah,
both. You're in the right play.
yeah.
But have you really envisioned what it's going to be like when you have 6 or 7 or whatever digits of cash sitting in that account, and what you're going to do with it, and where you're going to move it to, and like Cam, you're looking
Worst
at.
thing,
I know
Lambo.
you're looking at these things, Cam, and you're going to
Oh
have
yeah,
some cool things in the future. I'm not going to spoil it on
yeah.
your channel for people to look at. And there's people like Sheldon, Chapped in Mindset. He's going to be looking at his channel, and I think AB Investments as well. They're going to start talking about what can be done in the future to help retain your wealth and manage your wealth, right? We're talking
Smart.
right now, we're all focused on getting the wealth.
Yeah,
The
that's
next
correct.
step is going to be to be prepared ahead of time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, AB's really smart. He owns a restaurant. He owns a couple of things. Really smart gentleman. I've actually had the privilege. He disclosed that today publicly. I don't know if he has on his own channel, but he mentioned that today. And I just wanted to say, like, I'm blown away. Smart, smart. I keep on saying young man, but he's not that much younger than me. So he says. I don't think he really said that he looks young. Anyways, to me, I thought he was way younger than he says he is. But yeah. Um,
Yeah, I like him.
yeah, he's just, and he's telling me about his religion and stuff um about the fast and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just crazy how humble he is and how dedicated he is to his religion. And I really respect a person for that. It's not called a fast, it's called or yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I just didn't want to disrespect what he's Muslim there. So, anyways, Aaron, look at Netflix. It dropped 100. Yeah, they messed up on their something happened with Netflix. I'm not going to pull a screen up right now, bro. I'm going to take your word for it. You're one of our seasoned traders on our channel. Um, can you buy my shares? Can you buy my shares? I have a limit order. Oh, okay. Whoa, what's this? Sorry, I can't read this. I have my limit order for 1,000 a share.
Yeah, he's basically put his order out there for 90 days, and he said, "Come and get it, Citadel."
So what happens after the 90s? It expires and you just reissue it because
Yep,
we don't. Okay, because
yep.
I've never done that stuff. We can
I'm
do
not
that in
sure who his
Canada too.
I'm not sure who his
Anthony?
broker is, but they must allow it for a 90-day period.
Oh,
So,
okay, because
like,
that.
like with my broker, I can do that. I don't know how far out I can go, but I can assign it to be valid until expiry in a certain date, right?
This is a question, Pantheon, and then it's up to you to
Yep.
if you want to answer it or not. Are you doing market or limit? What do
Limit.
you?
Nobody should even think about market orders in a MOAS situation, in a short
Thank you,
squeeze.
brother. Yes.
But I got a whole video on that in my series. Market orders are saying, "Hey, market maker, fulfill this order at whatever you want to do it at." So if the price was, and let's just, I'm not even going to make numbers up. People, whenever I do that, people always throw numbers back at me. You said
Yes, they
this.
do, and then they expect that you're
So,
telling them that number. I know. I get the same thing.
if
Thank
the
you.
price is X, whatever X is, doesn't
There
really
you go.
matter.
That's smart.
If
Yeah.
the price is X and you put in a market order, you could get substantially below X. And all they got to say is, "Oh, it crashed for that 1 second. It came straight back up." And then they'll scalp the hell out of you on that trade. If you put in a limit order, then you're saying this is the least I'm going to accept for it. And here's my strategy. And I know people have always come back to me and say, "What if they don't fill the limit orders?" Well, then they don't fill it, but they will fill it because here's my strategy. Michael Doyle's right. Too volatile for market orders. It'll pop up and down so fast
Oh yeah.
they can destroy you on a market order. A
Yeah.
market order is like a stock that's pretty consistent and doesn't really move a lot. Like if you're going to buy Disney or Home Depot, you could put in a market order for that. But in a short squeeze, you never want to use it. So here's my plan of attack, and we'll see if it works. If I want to hit price X, I'm going to wait until it exceeds price X. and it exceeds it by 15%. At that point, I'm going to put in my limit order at my price of X. I'm going to say to them, it is the current price is actually higher than what I'm asking for on my limit. If you want to scalp me, feel free to scalp me. As long as I get my limit, I'm okay with that because I think they're going to scalp us anyways. Okay. So I'm okay with that. I'm giving them the option and they will take that and they will run my order through because they're going to make a quick little buck on me. They'll put it through at the higher price, but they'll tell me it went through at my price and they'll keep the difference. I
Oh,
think they're going to do that
yeah.
anyways.
It's
Or
called
it'll go
skimming.
through at the higher
Yeah.
price and I get more than I wanted, but I'm at least coming out with what I want for my price. I'm okay with that as long as the order goes through. So that's going to be my approach.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's skimming and it should be illegal, but I just don't understand. It's ripping you off. That's what it's doing. And that's the problem that I've noticed with me. I'm just going to speak for myself. When I buy shares, and I've had this problem, and this is why what I came up with one of our squeeze tools into this, into buying shares. It's not part of the squeeze tools. It's part of our tools in our tools box. I'll correct that. It's not essentially a squeeze tool. It's one of the tools that I use. And when I say tools to newer people, and it's not like a box full of tools, okay? Because people have actually asked me, well, what's with these tools? I call it like that because I'm a tradesman by in real life, right? So I just call it that. It's easier to explain it that way. Um, it's kind of some people say a tool belt, right? Tools in the tool belt. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that when I buy, I'll speak for myself. Shares, and it doesn't matter any stock. I don't buy on a weekend. Okay, I'm talking about just normal trading hours. Okay, I'm not talking about post or pre. I'm just talking letting those sit for 3 or 4 days is the worst thing to do. And then when that market opens, those things don't get executed like right away, or they'll always be under. And then you'll be like, oh, I've already lost money. It's set up like that. It's rigged. Okay. You are essentially giving them money. You're just saying, here, screw me over. There you go. There's my share. Execute it whenever you want. In a timely manner. That's all it is, in a timely manner. It doesn't say in the contract to be executed immediately. There's nothing there for that. Okay. So you're just, that's why I like it exactly. You push the button, it comes back. Denied, accepted. No questions. Done. You get your confirmation, end of story. You move on, right? So, yeah, over long weekends is one of the worst I've found. I've done both on it. I stopped doing that. I don't like throwing my money away like that. And usually it will be like under like 50 cents or $1, sometimes up to $1 difference. And if you have a substantial amount of shares, you're doing penny stocks, which are like even into the dollars. I class those penny. It's in the penny area of the stock order. You can lose a substantial amount of money. You could be down like 30, 40, $50. Okay. I've had it happen more than once. So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that too. Okay. Aaron's asking, Aaron, what broker do you have? Is mine that they won't work with the limit order? Okay. They're just asking each other right now, which broker,
Yeah,
because some are,
some brokers only allow you to put a limit order in at a certain multiplier, maybe it's 50x or whatever the number is, above the current price. So you're not allowed on every broker to just put in a limit order to sit there for 30 days at whatever price you want on every broker. So like I'm with RBC and RBC won't let me put in an order right now on AMC and I'll just make it. So I'm making a number up. It's not my price. I couldn't put in an order limit of $10,000 right now if I wanted to an AMC. It wouldn't let me. The max it would probably let me come in now is around 500, I think, something like that. It's I forget the multiplier, but it's maybe it'd be higher. Maybe it'd be about 750, I think, is what they would allow me right now. But there's a certain multiplying factor. Just call your broker and ask them, and they'll tell you. And Frozen State Productions been working on your plan
I
for
was just
months
going to read
now.
that.
Well done, Frozen State. And if you could, can you bring up Beverly's question about the executive
Oh,
orders?
yes, yes, I could. I was just looking at that too on the laptop because it's lags a bit. Executive order. It's quite a ways back here. Oh, there it is, right there. That's what the EOS meant. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's about executive orders 13959, 13971, and they were, superseded by executive order 14032. These are the ones Boss Blunts talks about in relation to the uh, basically addressing the threat from securities investments that finance certain companies from the People's Republic of China. the next date on that executive order is June 3rd. And Boss Blunts, and I want to be clear on this because people throw it at me. I get questions like, you got to be as tough on Boss with his June 3rd date as you were with the New York jackass. Sorry about that.
No, no, it's all
On
good.
his March 3rd date. These are very different things. That guy actually said March 3rd was the date for the squeeze. Boss has never said June 3rd is the date that we're going to squeeze. What he said was, there is a historical precedent of two different times of when we had pops on the stock, that those executive orders took place at the
Yes.
exact
Yeah.
same time. It's the best example of, if you want to say it's a coincidence, it's one hell of a coincidence.
It's
There's
big time.
enough with two of them so far consecutively being exactly spot on. I'm on board with it. So I believe that there is that I'm a subscriber to that theory. I'm not saying we're going to pop on June 3rd. I'm going to say that they know the clock is ticking towards that date, and that has had two positive things happen before. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's going to happen again on June 3rd. What I'm saying is, look at the options chain in the month of May. It's completely dead. Look at where we are comparing charts,
Yeah.
from what happened previously to what's happening now. And you see so many similarities leading up to what looks like a potential similar move up. Look at the executive order that's tabled for June 3rd. And if China, and hope to God they don't, if they invaded Taiwan before then, this executive order would be pushed earlier. So, and on top of all that, Janet Yellen, his boss, put out there in a really great video. Please check it out. It's about two videos back on Boss Blunt's video archives right now. The first one you'll see is a live stream from last night, and I think it's the one before that, where he shows the Janet Yellen just last week did an interview or press conference, whatever, where she was talking tough to China about not working with Russia, or there's going to be sanctions on China. Like old Yeller making those kind of statements. That's some pretty tough talk. So, there's a lot of different things converging that look to make a lot of sense. Not to mention the June 9th date for the GME vote, whether the shareholders want to approve the dividend stock split. So, like, you've got a lot of things coming together at a certain time frame, and I'm not saying we're going to squeeze in the next 4 months or 3 months or whatever. What I'm saying is it's an interesting time frame,
Yeah.
and no expectations, but be on top of all these different pieces of data. And it's looking like there might be something to keep an eye on here, right? We don't know when it's going to squeeze. Nobody
No.
knows. Anyone that tells you a date that it's going to squeeze is just
Yep.
guessing. But we can
Yeah.
look at all the surrounding factors, right? Like, sometimes in a hockey game, you don't know when they're going to score a goal, but you can get the feel that something's happening. From, you get the puck behind your own net, everyone sets up, the defenseman brings it up, puts it ahead. You start to feel like, wait a minute, something's being set up here. Maybe not they'll score, but it feels like there's a play happening. I don't know. Maybe
Hey,
I'm rambling now, but
no, 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 no. I like that. That is, it's cool. You can actually use a game because there's rules and stuff involved in that, and you got to have a certain system to make things happen. I like that analogy on that. That's a perfect example. And Pantheon nailed it on dates and times. There's a whole bunch of things. Markets run in cycles. Life runs in a cycle. Okay. This is just me. This is now my spin on this. Spinning as in a good way, not a spinning as in like it's off in the left field. Yeah, I just wanted to. The squeeze isn't like Jay says is inevitable. Damn rights it is. It's gonna happen. Okay. There's no. This is one thing I will say. There's no way out of this. Okay. There's no way out of it. They have to cover those positions. We don't know when. The more rules they're put in effect, rules or regulations, I'll keep that into will make it harder. Okay. You have to remember that the government wants that tax money. Okay. That is a huge thing. I really need you to think about that. The worse we get off, the worse the government knows. They're not stupid. They don't know exactly to rate to the synthetic. I don't think, right? I don't know because I'm not part of the government, but I'm pretty sure that they have their eyes on it and they know roughly. I'm not talking right to the 100,000. I'm not saying that, but they know that, hey, if this thing goes, we can get this many amount of taxes, but we might have to cover some of these brokers that go under or whatever, because they're obligated to, right? They have insurance on this stuff. And Pantheon is actually educated on that aspect of that insurance. I don't know about how much they are. I've never dove into that to that aspect. This is a question from me, my friend. How much are these brokers insured for, and who? And I do know who covers it, but I just want to put it out there so everybody else is aware of this. This keeps on coming up on multiple people's YouTube channels, and a lot of people don't know the answer.
You're talking about the DTCC's insurance that people
Correct.
keep talking about.
Correct,
Well,
sir.
that's it's they call it insurance, but it's equities, right? Like the DTCC holds all the stocks. So it's not like they've got this $75 trillion of cash or whatever the number is, 65, 70,
Hmm.
whatever it is, sitting there in cash that they're ready to just pay out. That's actually held in equities. So it's not really an insurance policy. They're going to print
Okay.
money is what they're going to do. They're not just going to have the DTC insurance pay everybody out. I know people keep saying that.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm glad you're
entirely
clarifying this.
it's not entirely accurate, but it
Okay.
doesn't mean we have to worry about it. Like um you go back to, I've talked about this before on my channel, but you go
Yeah.
back to the 1987 Black Monday stock market collapse. You go to the
Mhm.
2007 through 2009
Yeah.
mortgage-backed security crisis,
That
right?
was a bad
The
one.
the Fed over and over and over and over, and Wolfie made a good point about this last night, but the Fed over and over and over have basically three actions they can do. Okay. They can, number one, try and instill confidence in the markets by coming out and talking. Well, Jerome Powell coming out and talking, saying, I have no answers for that. I have no answers for this, doesn't help. Janet Yellen coming out and saying, you guys should all be happy with how we've handled this. You're all going to be way better off because of what we've done. Jerome Powell saying, you can afford to put gas in your car. What's your problem? Everyone's okay. These people suck at their jobs. So, number one, to instill
Yeah.
confidence by talking,
I
it's not
love you,
it's
man.
not working.
You're
Okay.
awesome.
Option number two, as Cash Money says in the think tank, the money printer goes burr. The Fed prints money. Option three is they convince the banks to play nice with the brokers. They come to them and say, please don't margin call them yet. Give them a bit more risk tolerance. And the bank says, no. Look, we're all friends until my money's in jeopardy. I'm not going to give them
Right.
any leeway. I want my money, Tony
No, they won't.
Soprano style. And
Yep, they will.
that's where the Fed says, okay, look, option two is we can print money. So here's what we'll say to the banks. If you give them more leeway to let them see if they can survive this, they're going to have to close the positions. Let them see if they can survive it. And if they do, you'll get all your money. And if they don't, we will print money to cover you. And the bank says, wait a minute, you want me to give them more risk tolerance? And if they survive, great. And if they don't, you're going to cover their losses to me. So I win either way. Well, then hell yeah, I'll give them lots of leeway. We'll push these risk bands a little bit further. No problem, because the Fed will. That's what they've done every single time. Every single time they've done that. These are the three actions they've got. Now, Wolfie brought up a point last night because I said that was 2000. The last time was 2008, and quite frankly,
Yeah.
they never corrected the problem.
No.
They kept doing quantitative easing and they kept
Hmm.
putting more money in, and they've
I'm
never
pushing it.
fixed the problem. They've never dealt
Yep.
with it, and it's grown bigger. So whatever happened then is going to be worse now. And then Wolfie, that's where Wolfie brought up and said, but they can't just print the money like you're saying, Pantheon. That's not that easy because this is a much different situation. And now we've got 4.1 plus million or however many it is apes on AMC and who knows how many on GME that are smarter. We understand and we're holding and we're not going to sell. We're diamond handing. So like it's different because we didn't know what we know and feel the way we feel back then. We were reactive to the situation. We're now proactive to the situation. So the Fed's going to have no alternative but to print money at us. Does that mean we can ask $1 million a share? No, it doesn't mean that. You can ask whatever the hell you want, but
Doesn't
don't
mean you're
get
going to get it.
greedy, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yep.
got to remember there's 516 million shares that are issued. Okay,
Yep.
let's just say for a second that the reported short interest is 116 million shares, because I'm not that bright, so I need to have simple math. Let's say
That's
that's the
fine.
self-reported shorts, and let's just say that that actually is honest, which we know that it's self-reported, so we know it's not accurate, but let's just say for an example that it is. Okay, that means there's 116. In my example, I'm making this up. In that example, there's 116 million shares shorted that they've announced. And let's just say they were being honest about it. And then you can pick whatever number of synthetics you want. It doesn't matter. Say
Yeah.
10 billion. I don't really care because this example doesn't matter. When the time
Okay.
comes to cover, when they covered the 10 billion synthetics, those are gone. But they only have to cover 116 million real shares, right? That means there's going to be 400 million shares that don't ever have to be bought. So when you start thinking you're going to ask for, do you see what I'm saying with this?
Yeah, I
Let
do. That's smart.
take synthetics out of the equation. Let's pretend there's no synthetics, right?
Yeah.
We know there are. We know there
Yeah.
are, but just take them out of the
Pull it out of the
equation.
equation. Yep.
Okay, then we've got, let's just say it's 116 million shares that have been, you could say it's 360. I don't really care.
Yeah.
The point is there's going to be a difference between the shares that are issued and the shares that are actually short, that are real shares, that are going to leave some that don't have to be purchased at the end of the day,
Yes, correct.
right?
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
why it's important not to get,
Great.
and I'm not giving prices and all that, but you got to
Nope.
be, you can't go too sky high and hold too long, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to end up on the downside of this thing and be one of those shares that don't have to be purchased, because there will be people that exit this play at the end who end up not even getting it to sell.
Oh,
And even if you do sell at that point, it's probably another retail holder that's going to end up holding that bag, right?
yeah. It's true. Yeah. And it's called
So,
pulling greed off the table, man.
so
Yeah.
anyways, the Fed will print. Okay, Brian says I'm so confused. I'm doing a terrible job of this. So, okay, Brian, there is
No,
516 million shares of AMC that are actually issued, right? And they've reported, self-reported, the shorting hedge funds that they've shorted 100, let's say 116 million shares, whatever the number is. I don't care. It's 195, 105, doesn't matter. Just keep the math easy for me, right? That means there's 400 million shares that they say they never shorted. The synthetics is a side piece because they're going to have to buy those anyways, and when they buy them, they throw them out because they're not even supposed to be there in the first place. So let's just go through this. The margin call happens. Okay, Brian sells 10 shares. They get them. Oh yeah, there's 10 shares. Those are synthetic. Throw them out. No problem. Cam sells 50 shares. Okay, there's yeah, though there 25 of these are real. Great. 25 are synthetic. They throw those out, and that's how they're going to go through it, right? So the synthetics are going to get bought, but they're not going to help cover the real shares. They need the real shares to
mhm.
cover the reported short interest. And let's pretend that was actually honest short interest, right? If they've only honestly short 116 million shares and there's 516 million, there's 400 million shares as the delta between the two. They don't have to buy those. They don't have to,
That's
right?
right. Yeah,
They
yeah.
got to close their short positions.
Yes,
So,
that's all they need to do. Yeah.
but the way this works for us is because there's probably 10 or 20 or whatever the hell it is billion synthetics.
Yeah.
That's why this is the play that it is. It's not that it's a 20% short rate.
Yeah.
It's that,
That's right.
exactly, headstock harem. That could take a while to find the real shares. Exactly. That's why everyone needs a diamond hand in this thing. Not financial
That's
advice,
right.
but
Yeah.
that's why. I mean, if people start selling early and they can locate the real shares early, right? Do they have to continue with synthetics? Well, they should, but if they can report the interest going back to zero, then the
They're gonna
question,
fake it for sure, bro. And they're gonna
right?
try to
Then the
screw us over.
Gasparinos and the CNBCs
Yeah.
are going to come out and they're going to say, "What are you guys even talking about? There's no shares shorted. Look, oh, it's those imaginary synthetics apes. Yeah, you guys
Oh
are
yeah.
crazy, tinfoil hats, right?" So
Yeah, there's
anyhow, I'm probably doing more damage than
no, no. Well,
than
I
helping at the
understand it,
moment.
and Pantheon, and a lot of people uh, are getting it. Just let it sink in a little bit, guys, and ladies. The thing is I always said to pull the synthetics off the table. You guys are you made a commitment. Your brokers have made a commitment with you. When you buy those shares, there's actual invisible documents that were they were not invisible. You're supposed to read them the very first time when you open your trader's account. There's pages and pages and pages of all these documents that really mean shit, but they do mean something. It's all these laws and regulations that they're bound, their hands are bound, okay, with this stuff from your brokers. So that's what Pantheon is talking about to some of this degree on that they have to cover with the DTC, and all those rules are coincided with it, okay? And a lot of our laws with our laws are put over to the US stock market. When you buy shares, like when I buy shares, I have to convert um, into American money. Okay. When I buy AMC shares, it has to be converted over. Maybe it's just the account I'm with. I'm just speaking for myself because I've always had to do that, except with Simple. For some reason, I don't know. It converts itself. But my bank, TD Bank, makes me convert it into a US cash account, or whatever I do, a TSFA, a US TSA, it has to be converted into American. That's the bottom line I'm saying. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy on that
Just to
aspect. Go ahead,
just to
buddy.
circle back on that thing you were talking about earlier, Cam, about the government being aware of the situation.
Hmm.
BlackRock, which is if not the largest, one of the largest AMC shareholders, BlackRock are the official financial advisors to the Biden administration. So again, Yeah, no, they are. So, I mean, if officially, so I mean, if if BlackRock's having those conversations, they are directly having those government conversations with the Pelosi's and all that, right? That's why, again,
What
when
the
Pelosi's
fuck? Pardon my language, but
no, I mean that that's what they've done, right? So when Pelosi's invested in something and she's still there, and I believe she is still to this
yeah.
day, I don't believe that Paul's hedge fund has taken it out through the ETFs. That's something that gives you a little bit of confidence. So Michael Doyle, no, my opinion is that all matters have to be settled. I'm not trying to say they'll. I know Cam may disagree with me. I'm not trying to say they'll buy the real shares and then just drop all the synthetics. I think they're going to have to deal with the entire problem.
No, they do. They do. No, no, I agree on that, bro.
Okay.
I just no, they're that's what I was back to when I said those all those agreements, regulations, and laws. And then I said paperwork, and it's stuff that you just I never read the shit. I just want my friggin' trader's account and start trading and making some money, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't trying to make people think that they don't have to buy all the synthetics. What I was trying to get at, I didn't do a very good job, is that Cam's share recovery is very important. That was the point I was trying to bring it back to, but I didn't say, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. Are you or okay? Probably people are you using? And we're not going to disclose because I don't want to know shares. And I know Pantheon. It doesn't matter what shares you own on my channel. I keep on saying my channel on your guys' channel. I got to get that. It's not my channel. It's the Wolfpack's channel. So, are you doing a share recovery, Pantheon? Are
Yep.
you okay? Okay.
Yep. I'm a member of the Wolf Pack. I subscribe to the. I listen to what you're saying, Cam. It makes sense, right? It
Yeah.
does. And if I don't know how if you want to talk about it anymore here
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
here,
Dude.
but
That's yeah.
no, I believe in that. I believe in we don't know how fast this thing's going to rip. We don't know what it's going to go to. We don't know how it's going to play out. We all have ideas. We all have ideas and concepts here, but it's never a bad thing when any stock. Let's just talk about any stock,
Yes. Go ahead,
not
buddy.
not financial advice, but when any stock has a substantial run up, it's always a smart idea to take a very strong consideration to withdraw your initial investment. Now you're writing free shares. I've seen I talked about it on my channel before. I was in college with a buddy. We bought into Boots and Coots Wild Well Control when Iraq was invaded Kuwait for the second time. And those are the guys who put out the oil well fires the first time that they invaded Kuwait. So this was all speculation. The stock ran up from like 18 cents a share to like $2.55 a share in one day, and my buddy and I jumped in it, and I got out. I got out right around $2 a share, around 2.55, and then it crashed down when they realized that Saddam was actually not going to torch all the oil wells on the way out. He wasn't doing it, so that speculation, that event-driven play, uh, dropped quickly. I got out around $2. He bought in around I think 80 cents, and then he didn't. He kept waiting and waiting and waiting and thinking it was I saw a buck 90. Now it's a buck 80. I'm not happy. I want my buck 90. Oh, now it's a buck 70. No, I saw a buck 80. I want a buck 80. Oh, now it's a buck 50. No,
Excuse me.
I saw a buck 70. I want a buck 70. Like you weren't happy with a buck 70 10 seconds ago, but now you are. Now it's a buck 20. Now it's a buck 10. And it moved that fast on him. And he never hit the trigger until after it got below his price. He actually ended up losing money on that play. So I mean, that's where I'm saying like if he had considered doing a share recovery, then he would have still made money on the play, right? At the very
Yes.
worst he would have done was sold at any price with the shares remaining, which would all be free shares if you want to look at it that way. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm with you on that, man. It's your idea, and I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, yeah, I put a lot of thought into that. That was made on the aspect of me losing money in some of these plays back in the day, right? I just didn't. I had a shitty system. Okay, watching of all these tubers and just listening to this stuff and trying to do what they do, and they don't tell you the key to the puzzle. They don't show that they lost money.
Right,
It's always win 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 win,
right,
and it's still happening. Okay, well
right.
that's why I started my channel. That's the main core, is to be transparent with this, and to stop um, this false illusion that this person is this person that never loses money, is the best of the best. It's not true. Not one of us is like that. Okay,
Oh,
I want you to know that. Okay, and I'm not going to say in sub from channel. That's not the more. That's not exactly what I'm getting at. And if you think that you're missing it. So I just wanted to say that that's why I came up with the system. Okay, I had a bad go at, and I still hold those stocks. One of them is going to probably be delisted. It's a Canadian. It's called Fuse Cobalt. It's owned by the government. That's another thing to stay away from these. I'm getting now. I'm getting off on left field, but I'm going to go with it. Stay away from stocks, and it's not financial advice. I stay away from now stocks that are tied into the government. Stay the hell out of them because the government's corrupt. We know that for one thing. They do not have our best interests, and they do what the F they want, okay, on stuff. So take it from there. They don't have the best interest on it. So I'm going to, and that's Fuse Cobalt. You can look it up. And I got 3 stocks, and I know you're like, Cameron, you always talk about this, but they're there for a reminder to keep me grounded. Okay. Fuse Cobalt, I'm down about 90% of my money. It's down 0.070%. I even have that memorized from today. I look at it, it just burns me. It's probably going to be delisted. Am I going to sell? Hell no. Am I going to lose about $6,000? Hell yeah. I'm going to let that vaporize. Because I just so mad at myself for that. And I should have known better, but it built a squeeze tool for you guys. Okay. That's where that came from. And I'm going to jump into, and I will get into the share recovery a bit here just for the new members, but I don't get right into it because there is actually a video chat membership on the channel that a lot of people are members of. And we talk about these tools right into depth it's all privately information. I do not talk about other people's shares, and anybody can vouch for that. I take that very personal. Okay. That's same as people's addresses and phone numbers. I have a substantial amount of that. Some people have my personal address. And there's only a few, but I don't share that stuff. Okay. I think that is what a friendship's built on, is that personal information. And those squeeze tools are video chat membership packages. I can discuss any of this, and you can take it for self-promotion or whatever. I'm discussing what the core of this tool is. So what I do is we sit down together and we'll figure out what your shares are. Okay. And then we'll apply these tools into 3 different segments. Okay. The 3 different segments, there used to be just 3, but there's a plan A and a B. There's an A and B because there's 2 different types of algorithms. Okay. And you can believe whatever you want. I know what I know. Okay. There's the violent type with the sharp V's. That's the type that kick breakers all the time. And you guys know I call breaker halts all the time before they happen. It's just something that I'm a weirdo, and I can see the algorithm snaps and sweeps. I just pick it up. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Maybe it's because I stared at ticker symbols too long. Looking at the screen. On weekends when the bar doesn't move. I'm just joking. But anyways, so yeah, that's the 3 system. That's the first tier. Second tier is for the push, the main push. And then the other one's, it's collapsing, I got to get out, or the main push, or another push. So you're not like dump shares all of a sudden. Oh, why did I do that? It just went up more, double, triple. Okay. You could potentially make 2 to 3 times more money than just dumping. Okay. Or you could save yourself. All these things are a fail-safe system. Okay. That's what all my tools in this toolbox I talk about are fail-safe systems. Okay. There's 2 different types of algorithms. Then there's a curvature type. The curvature type, that's what the Volkswagen squeeze ran off the first time. Okay. It didn't kick that many breakers, only a couple. Okay. It didn't halt. Like AMC could potentially be halted like 80-90% of the time if it has that plan, if it has the A type. The very snappy and the violent. If it's curvature, we're going to be better. We can deal with either one. Like I said, we've got these tools to deal with either one. I got to see it that day. Okay. And we get into more in depth. And if you want to know that, the join package on my channel. And we just, even the last couple of days, we've had a substantial amount of people sub to that because people are wanting to know. Right. And I'll walk you through it. And you're not locked into this membership. As soon as you feel comfortable, get rid of it, right? I don't want your money, but my time is my time. Okay. So Twitter, thank you, Pantheon. I'm pulling a thing here. Now I'm going off here. We work good together on this feeding off each other.
Do you want
So
me to handle Jay's question on the screen?
yes, go ahead, and I'm going to look up ticker symbol Twitter for you. They want to know short interest and float. Go ahead, bro.
So he's saying, what's your thought on them letting all of the OGs and early buyers now pushed into long-term capital gains? And now, as each month goes on, we're getting closer to the June run-up for long-term. So in Canada, I think we just got the one rate for capital gains. There's no short-term,
You're
long-term.
right.
But
Yeah,
in the US, yes, there is. Now, remember though, last year as they were looking at setting the budget, the US government was looking at eliminating short-term and long-term and just having one flat rate and having it be retroactive. And that thing fell off the books for some reason. So that's I'm not and I'm that's speculation. I have no receipts on that, but it wouldn't surprise me if before things pop, they just retroactively say we're going to just make it all one tax rate and everyone pays the top rate, and that's just the way it is. Um, in Canada, it's what it's 25%, right? It's half
yeah,
of half,
yeah.
half
Okay.
half of your capital gain, which is
Yeah,
25% of your actual profit. So
yeah.
that's probably the cheapest tax we pay here, to be
You
honest.
think? Sorry, I'm laughing.
It
We
is.
get
We
we
get
get bent
taxed to
over
death
here
here.
bad,
Yeah.
and I
Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if they make a change to the rules and try and make it retroactive, right? I don't have any receipts on that. I'm speculating, but they have talked about that before in the U.S. And otherwise, hey, then all the best for apes who get themselves into the long-term
mhm,
capital gains bracket. That's fantastic.
yes.
Uh, Before you go to Twitter, just another couple of questions I can hit
Yeah,
off
no,
real
fire away,
quick.
bro.
Teldog424 was asking, are you Pantheon? Are you saying BlackRock has a say in what the plunge protection team does? The plunge protection team is only supposed to be providing
Yeah,
recommendations on financial and
not
economic
doing it. Yeah,
issues during turbulent times. They're not supposed to be acting. And that includes the Secretary of the Treasury,
yeah.
the Board of Governors, the Federal Reserve, the Chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler, and the Chair of the Commodities Future Trading Commission. Since BlackRock are the financial advisors to the Biden administration and the plunge protection team is supposed to report to President Biden, I would say that maybe they're not influencing the plunge protection team, but they certainly have the ear of the people that everyone's reporting to. Not that I truly believe they're reporting to actually Joe Biden, but whoever they're reporting to, they're all probably having influence. And I would believe BlackRock definitely has influence when they throw, in my opinion, when they throw $50 billion on puts on the SPY to stop, stall really what was a market crash at the end of January that I believe Boss accurately predicted. How the hell was he supposed to know that the plunge protection team, who's not even supposed to interfere, would spend $50 billion of taxpayer money on puts on the SPY? It's, I mean, I think he was right, and I mean that right there. What are you supposed to do to that? So
Exactly.
back to you, sir.
Yeah, that was good. So I'm going to go through a couple more questions here, and we're going to wrap this. It is getting around 3 o'clock. I know that it's. Um, I got to go out and do some things. I just got a message from my wife. She was just asking how much longer. She's so polite. I gotta love the lady, the young lady. I gotta keep on throwing the young in there. So yeah, so I just wanted to say what we're gonna go is for another 15 minutes here, and that's wow, Pantheon. I definitely respect you taking this time. We're gonna go through some more of that's 3 hours of your time. I really appreciate that. I was not
It's been fun.
expecting. Yeah, okay, I am too, man. This is the most fun I've had in a while. Um, Definitely, it's just so smooth. It's flowing really smooth, man. We've never actually, my friends, we're really good friends. Everybody knows that on like social media, and we're both Canadians, and not that it makes a difference, but are basically what we look at outside is the same atmosphere. That's all I'm saying. So we've never actually worked together in this aspect of doing this. We worked on channels and done content together side by side, but not actually where I was hosting. And yeah, it's just working out really good. I wasn't expecting it to be. I really didn't know. Sorry, guys.
Oh, we even got the mood music. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you like that? That was my son calling there. He's probably calling because I'm on. He's right into stocks. That's who got me into AMC.
Nice.
Yeah, so he actually sold out and he's kicking himself in the butt. He made a whack of money though. Back in when the $72 range. And I told my channel I wish I would have too. I wish I would have bought back in, but I was under the impression that I had all real shares. right? Until I called my bank, and I'm like an OG on this back in January, like in the first week of January. And TD Bank in Canada was like, the guy was kind of hinting like, you don't know shit. So, and then that's where all the computer share thing came in. And that's a different topic for another day on the computer, because I can go off because I have all factual 100% information on that. And don't do it right now this close to, because we could squeeze. We don't know, have a date on the squeeze. There is hardly no shares available. That order has to be filled 100% before you can sell. Okay, I'm just going to put it in a nutshell, and we'll get more into that. So say hypothetically, let's say you have 400 shares. We're just using a number, okay? And I'm not saying I own that or anything, so I don't want anybody comparing, or I don't own that, okay? I'm just using that as a number, okay? So you have 400 shares, computer shares, and we had two different people do this. We had Ma do it down in the States, and we had myself up here do it, which I had to run around of heck trying to do it. So say you own 499 shares, and it is a 2 to 3 month waiting list, depends, okay, just to get computer shares, because they are physically real shares, okay? Nothing else. Okay. That's the whole thing about this computer share. It's a really good idea, really good system in some areas and some situations. So say you have 499, and it could take a month or so. If you're one share short, they cannot legally sell that order. You cannot sell that order until it's fully closed. Okay. That's the rules. And it's very, very, that's where the problem is with it. So if we go into a MOAS and you're like a couple shares of filling that order, you're locked out of the MOAS. Okay. I'm telling you that right now. There's no overriding or nothing. When you do that, you're doing an agreement with them. Okay. It's a law abiding agreement. And the reason why it takes up to a week or more than a couple days to a week. And the bank might say, oh yeah, we do computer shares. They don't. The banks are not brokers. That's why it takes a day or two to get back to your account. It's all third party. It's a good thing. Okay. But else it'd be a conflict event. Think about it. Your bank's your broker too. That'd be pretty scary. Okay. But they can still do reverse transfers on these wire transfers. Okay. I don't know if Pantheon has had that experience where somehow money gets put in we're in a wrong account. I explained that. They just do a reversal. Once you put money into an account, they can fire it back the other way too. It's easy to do. Mistakes happen all the time. I don't know if any of you had that situation where, and there's so many hundreds of incidents where that could happen. I did it. I put money into a wrong account by accident. I was off on one of the digits. A couple days went by, and I told this story. I went to the bank and said, "Whoa, I messed up." It was over $1,000, right? They said, "No, no worries." Click, money was back in my account within seconds. It's like, holy Jesus, wow, that's pretty cool. But then that was cool then. It's not cool now, because now I know how it works. So, do you have anything that you want to add to that, Pantheon? I'll get in the computer share thing another day on that aspect, because I can go into a little bit more. Go ahead, my friend.
Not really. I put out a video this morning on
Okay, go ahead.
the episode 4, part 4. I'm doing a series on hedge funds.
Oh,
And basically on Pantheon Radio, it's a show that I've been doing at night. Um, I do an opening gambit for the first 30, 45 minutes. I try and keep it shorter, and that helps build up questions in the comment section. And then I spend the next 3 hours catching up to everybody in the comment section. And it allows us to go into the evening, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes. So people working graveyard shifts have something to listen to, or the next day while you're, taking care of the kids or working out. People do, they listen while they're working out to the to
that's
the
cool.
radio show.
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing was, people were saying, I think you've got some good information for I do an opening thing usually on the stock market. And they say, this is good stuff, but I don't want to, I'm pointing friends to it, but they see it's a 5 hour live stream. So they won't even touch it. So can you extract some of those things out as separate videos? So what I've been doing
Oh,
is a 5-part series on
smart.
hedge funds, how they operate, introduction to their fee structures, their performance timing, the risks they face, and then part 4. Those are the first 3 parts. The part 4 was the 2007 to 2009 financial
Yep.
crisis and the part of hedge funds within it.
Cool.
That went out this morning.
Yes.
Anyways, that's the video series I'm putting out right now. Nobody's watching it, so
Well,
it's pretty high level stuff. Like, I have to use the terms that the hedge funds use, because otherwise it's not going to really make sense. But when you listen to it, there might be a lot of things that just sort of like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm encouraging people to go look that up and start to understand those terms, because the terms in the financial industry are meant to be confusing to people, but they're really not that confusing once you look into it. Like they take the Greeks with options, the beta,
Mm.
the theta. Okay, oh, I don't understand all that, but once you understand what those things mean, it's really not that complicated.
AB was
But
talking about that.
but
Go
they
ahead.
talk about using the terms that are going to confuse you. So you just say, I don't even want to bother with this. I need a master's degree to get this. Just take my
Mm-hmm.
money, shut up and take my money and invest it for me, right?
Yeah.
That's why they do it. So I'm trying to put the series out talking about what these hedge funds do in their language. And I'm hoping it inspires people to want to, research it and get up to speed as to what actually is going down. It's only got 500 views. I don't really care about the
Oh,
views as far as like YouTube, but I care about getting the right information to
the
the right
information out
people.
there.
And I just
Mm-hmm.
want to spread it to more people.
Do
Otherwise,
you want
there's
it?
the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Pantheon. Did you put that in the end of the creators group in our server?
No,
Did you
I
do?
after I finished a live stream with Boston
You're
Bigums and
busy. You're
Randall and
tired.
Jackson last night,
Yeah.
I did this after that. And I didn't finish
Oh, really?
until
Oh,
you and I were
buddy.
talking. You and I were chatting this morning on your WebEx.
Yeah.
That's when I finished. Then I went
Oh,
to bed.
wow. Okay. Okay.
So
Wolfpack. You know that area that we built. And I don't know. I hope that people have access to that. That it's not just for the creators. I didn't check out mods. You want to check to see if you can go in there and just pull up anything in there. I forgot to check that. Gee, I can't think of
Uh,
everything all the
and I'm
time.
not saying that to appeal to people here to go watch my videos. But I'm saying
No, no.
if you're interested in learning more about how hedge funds operate, I've spent a lot of time looking. I'm not a hedge fund, but I'm spent time looking into how these guys think. Right? Know your enemy is one of the most important things. You
Yes.
read The Art of War. It's a great book.
I
It'll
was just
apply to
gonna say that.
all situations in life. It really,
Yeah,
really does. Like, but anyhow, otherwise I do the Pantheon radio show. I try to do it 5, 6 nights a week.
it's
Haven't the last
beautiful.
couple nights because I'm here with you, and then I did Boss last night. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tonight, but
You
that's what
need a
I'm up
break.
to. I pop up all over the place, and I appreciate how awesome this chat has been tonight. So or today, tonight. I'm used to the night.
Hey, it's all good, buddy.
And
It's all
Cam,
good.
thanks for inviting me on, Cam. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, man. Anytime, it's open. It's open door to you, brother. When I say brother, brother, I mean that by brother. So yeah, Wolfpack, I would definitely recommend going and checking that content. We're gonna try. Just Mr. Pantheon here is very busy. He does have a wife that is does get off work and he wants to spend time with his wife. But we're gonna try to get that those links put over, and if not, just go to his channel. But I know a lot of the, like I said before, some of the people just don't want to leave the server, which that's why it was actually Pantheon's idea for a creators group on the space wall. It's there. That stuff will be put there. If he doesn't, I will. The mods are probably already on it there. We'll have a look, and if it's not, when Pantheon has time, sometimes we forget about that stuff. It is new, so I even forget to put half my content in there. So I'm going to wrap this here. Because I said at 3 o'clock, so we're about 5 minutes. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And if I didn't get through all the questions, I did have one question. They asked, well, a couple of people asked, well, how do I join this live meeting? On how do I get on the server? There's two different ways. Okay, iPhone doesn't like Google. Since they had that big fight, they don't support each other's computer language or whatever you want to call it. It's computer language, but they just don't. That what happens is on an iPhone in YouTube, it doesn't show up. The join, it's up on our header of our channel. It says join. Hit the join, and there's packages in there. Pick the package that fits your needs. Okay. The lowest one is just server access. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to be pushing self promotion stuff. Like I don't really. It doesn't matter to me what you do. Okay, it doesn't, and any of the wolves can. That's up to you. That's the areas for you guys to hang out and feel comfortable. Okay, and I'm in there hanging out too. Pantheon's in there too. He stops in and hangs out. Like he said, mentioned before, our Saturday meetings. Yeah, just take it for
Cam,
what it is. What? Go
well,
ahead.
I may not comment in there every day. I read every single post every morning. I
Oh,
do. I read every single
okay.
post in there, and so I just want people to know if they're ever looking for me, you can DM me in the WebEx. But
Yes.
I do read every single post.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think I do see your thing pop up once in a while on there. But one thing I just got to be very clear. There's one very for new people. There's one strict rule that I'm very, 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 very I stand behind, and there's zero tolerance. I got to say this: you cannot contact a creator without personal messaging them. Because there's access to do private. Like as soon as you hit the phone or the camera, it'll go directly to that person, and it'll start ringing on their computer or their device. It's forbidden. Okay. I just got to say that it's been really good. It's just have respect for the creators. It's same as a writer. We're creators. We create content. We're usually working, or we like to be left alone. Okay. When we're thinking about stuff, if we do want to talk about that, we'll put the open sign up. Okay. But with the personal message, hell yeah. It'll get answered. It could take a day. With me, I'm pretty fast because I'm active on the server. But I'm just saying this goes for there's more than one creator on there. AB's on there, Pantheon's on there, Jeffrey's on there. He's not a creator, but there's a whole bunch of I can't go through the list. There's like hundreds of people on there now. It's just exploding every day. So I just wanted to explain about that. I really haven't explained in detail about that. So if it doesn't come up on an iPhone, my friends, because a lot of people do have it's a 50-50 thing, there's a QR code, okay, that you can look up on our post wall. You can scan it on your phone. It will take you right, and there's a link. Okay. So we actually found those shenanigans that Google and Apple, we cracked it. So there's still a way to get it done. Okay. Do you have anything else that you want to add, Pantheon, about yourself? Do you want to do a closing or anything
No,
like that?
I want to thank the mods for
Okay.
doing a fantastic job. You've got a great group of mods, and thank you, Cam. I appreciate you letting me come on today.
No worries, buddy. If you just want to hang out, I will hang out with you for a couple minutes backstage as we end this call.
Okay.
Okay, so Wolfpack, I'm just going to leave it like that. I see a substantial amount of members. I see that they're hitting us up on the sub count there. So be prepared to do your mod work because I got to go grocery shopping after this because I got to get ready for this financial crash. I'm getting my stuff. I got to go buy a couple of cases of Ichiban noodles and stock up on my water because this is how we roll. Pantheon gave me this channel that has got in my head and it's smart. We're going to get into this possibly next time. I think it's a very good topic to talk about this economical crash. Okay. So Wolfpack, love you. Thanks mods for everything. Thanks for keeping it real. Not feel for real, but keep it real. So I will have open questions. Just hit me up on my chat board. We'll be open market open at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Just hit up on the chat board. Peace.